hello and welcome to the 104th episode of the Gochuucast, the 2-year anniversary, the happy birthday episode, once again has arrived. It was a limp here the last couple weeks, but we made it. We're here. We have something very, very special planned today that I don't remember, it was either in the postcast that we joked about it, or it was like the end of the episode we joked about it, but
I feel like it might have been the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was literally last week, but don't remember. However, we are going to be tier listing every single episode of the Gochuucast. God knows what even went on in some of these episodes, but I'm sure we can figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Remember. Some of them are very iconic.
Yeah, some of them.
So there's definitely ones that we're just gonna be like, what did we even talk about? I feel like especially the second year when we stopped doing
specific
defined
topics.
Themes,
Yeah.
Because like at least when we look at the title for a lot of the first year ones, we'll be able to be like,
yeah,
oh, it was that episode, and like at least make it up.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Maybe.
I'm also sure.
So this includes, of course, the 103 mainline episodes, but also tucked in here are the two lost episodes.
Do you have the lost episodes?
Oh no, the lost episodes. Yeah, rest in peace to episode. It was 80 and 89 were the lost episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. However, we should just get started. This is going to take a minute. All right, we have episode 1 titled 3 Idiots Start an Anime Podcast. This was the beginning, 2 years ago, right here.
Okay, so this is a tough one off the bat, because here's the thing. Iconic episode.
Iconic.
Right? Iconic episode.
The first episode.
Putting it anything below S as the beginning feels wrong. However, we had no idea what we were doing.
We had no idea at all what we were doing.
I saw a solid A then. I don't know.
I think in terms of influence, S tier. In terms of quality, B tier at best. I think so, yeah. We did our top 10s, right? This is the original top 10 list.
Yeah, this is our first top 10, and it was all our first top 10s is what we went through.
Yeah.
This is actually the only episode we have timestamps on, actually. I can see exactly what we looked.
We do have timestamps, you're right. I remember episode 2 came out, and I asked Daniel if he was going to do timestamps. He was like, nah. That was a lot of work for the first episode.
It takes so, like, if this was like, well, let's say I was like a big YouTuber and if I could delegate it to someone, or if this was a thing that I was doing as like a business venture, then sure, I would take the time every single week to timestamp. Doing this weekly though, without any incentive to do that, no. I think
some editors
it would
do that sometimes. So.
Oh yeah, fucking no big YouTuber with like a podcast is actually doing any of that themselves.
Facts.
Yeah, it would be like helpful to do just for like search engine optimization shit, but no, I don't feel like doing that. So yeah, just
I think timestamps help me justify it to be an A. Timestamps are just such a nice quality of life to have.
It's funny, like, looking at it, we're just like, we get to, like, Spat's top 10, and it's like, Classroom of the Elite talk, then we accidentally talk about Death Note, then we go back to Classroom of the Elite, and then we start talking about how hard endings are to make, and then we go back to Classroom of the Elite for a third time.
Yep.
Yeah, to be fair, that's kind of how a lot of our episodes
That's how talking works.
That is indeed how with human communication works.
How quickly my brain changes subjects sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like
I think A is good.
Yeah,
it was a decent episode. We're still kind of like getting the groove.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite thumbnails, honestly. It's very simple, but it
is a really nice thumbnail. Back when we thought we were gonna do just Gochumon thumbnails.
Yeah, that proved to be very impossible. And so here we are.
It lasted 2 weeks. Not even 3 weeks, because episode 2 was not related. Yeah. So we had 2 of them.
I mean, we did have We did have a Gochumon in the second one, but then I removed it once we like went away from the Gochumon specific.
It turned into the Jeopardy. I don't remember what the old. We probably could find it if we really wanted to. The old.
It's definitely like
thumbnail.
at the very. If you just went back to like the oldest things in our, like oldest messages in our group chat, it's definitely there. I mean, just look from Daniel and just go all the way back. I can't do that because streamer mode is on. Actually, fuck. But it's up there. It has it. I know Coco is in it with her like scientist like outfit.
Oh, you're right. It is the little with the
She had like a lab coat.
Magnifying glass.
No, not a magnifying. Yeah. It's just lab
coat or something. Yeah.
Oh, you found it? Okay, fucking.
Yeah.
Send it down.
Bro, I forgot about the Hold on, let me tag it just because.
Right. Sending. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about this thumbnail that you did.
It's the order.
It was a fake thumbnail that you had done just to like give an example piece.
Yeah.
420.
When are we using the episode 420 thumbnail?
Episode 420 thumbnail. Oh man, it's like different than what we actually ended up. I mean, it's not that different, but it's like it's an interesting initial concept versus what we have now.
Yeah, it's kind of fun though that the little like banner at the bottom has always kind of stayed there. We've changed it over time.
Yeah, you can like see like the evolution of these thumbnails, like me trying at the beginning, and then there's like the period of time where I didn't try at all. then you get back to the trying era, and then back to just, you know, sometimes you get one with effort and sometimes you don't. It's a very
as inspiration strikes.
Yes, if inspiration's there, this might be my favorite, the fucking Atrix one, but we'll get to that.
Atrix one, yes,
or at least one of them.
So episode 2.
See,
Jeopardy episode. So I wish we
episode,
have done more game shows, but I think this episode for us kind of highlighted the fact that doing the little game episodes is kind of hard to make good for the audio experience.
Like, yeah, the audio experience is definitely the hard, because there are definitely other games we could do. Like we mentioned, like Scribble before would be really fun, but it's like you can't do that. Like I can't.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, Mars listening to us.
Like we've all tried. We've all tried to get like concepts for stuff like this, but it's always just kind of come down to it's not a great audio experience, and at least from what we assume, the primary audience of this is probably audio only, or at least like majority audio only.
Yeah, like
turn on the background.
Yeah, like technically our views come from YouTube mostly, but yeah, at the exact same time, it's like, yeah, well, most of those probably.
Do we think
like
all the YouTube watchers are watching the screen?
Oh.
So Jeopardy episode. I enjoyed the Jeopardy episode a lot. However, I think it was probably not a very good episode.
We remove bias from it. It was probably a mid as fuck episode.
It was probably a really
I know, but I don't know. I just like I'm biased because I like Jeopardy.
Now, what it did
quality, I get it. Yeah.
It did fulfill a function of like learn more about us through like the proxy of the Jeopardy quiz.
The idea was there, but it was the execution. There's the question.
I think it's probably just an episode of all time.
I don't know about an episode of all time. That's an insane. Like,
that's reserved for like I don't know, just like.
You think it's reserved for like the really like the video game episode?
Well,
the first.
There's some like we'll get to the other episode. Like, there's some like blatantly dog shit episodes that we have. Like I can just envision that we probably did not try it all of those weeks.
That is valid. I guess this one did have effort and actual production behind it.
Yeah, so I feel like I can go with C. I feel like this is like like I'm willing to negotiate a C tier.
I'm okay with C.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I had fun doing it. I just have a feeling, but no, you're right. We have had some pretty
we have some weird ones too. So
yeah. Speaking of weird ones, making our own anime. This is
okay. It was, in my opinion, this episode was before its time. I think if we did this episode in year 2, after we really
Super
like
banger.
got into our groove, it would have been a banger. But I think we still didn't know what we were doing at this point, and then we were introducing this like fun concept,
Oh, this is like
and
the
like
AI one, right? Like you have
No,
the
no, no.
no,
This
no,
is
no,
this is the
no,
one
no,
that
that
we
no,
was
made
later.
on
That
our
was
own.
later. Okay, no, this one was the one where it's like I had the nightmare about like
no.
failing a
This is
test in
the.
school or some shit. Yeah, I remember this. I remember this.
Yeah, you had like
Is that what it
the
was?
hell version of
You had
Classroom
the
of the
hell.
Elite.
Yeah.
DK had his like intergalactic whatever like battle shonen.
Fucking Battle Shonen, yeah.
Yeah, and then I had the Emoto
And
Isekai.
it was I think the idea was too soon. I think this could have
Really
been a
ahead of
really
its
cool
time, bro.
episode
do I have to like
if
remaster the third episode?
episode
Dude,
3 remastered,
could be good.
us making updated versions of the same story with what we know now.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
Unironically.
the story that I wrote, I have actually written more of, and it is very different now because this is just a story that I've always had in
Dude,
like my back pocket. Every so often, I edit it. So
if I go back to like episode 3, time in this chat, God knows what I'm gonna find. Like the Emoto Isekai. I don't remember what I even wrote. All I know is it was something else.
Man,
I still feel like this is like a B tier episode.
It's
maybe.
probably. I'd be down for a B tier. I mean, they were cool ideas.
Yeah.
I just think we were kind of rough at the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, all these are gonna. I don't want to hold it too much against the beginning episodes, you know.
That's true, but my thought is also like someone's got to populate D in episode of all time at some point.
We definitely have some of those.
We do. That's true. There's a glaring one in year 1 that we'll get to somewhere around the middle.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with B. I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
All right, on to the B tier we go. All right.
This is music.
Yeah, this is the music one. I'm gonna be honest. This might be a D or an episode of all time.
Yeah, I didn't like this one. I didn't like this one.
I think the concept was fine, and then we got into it and quickly realized like just having the theme be music was too broad, and we kind of just like talked.
Yeah,
which was fine, but it was almost like concentrated nothingness.
Yeah,
concentrated nothingness. Holy. Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, I'd say B. Or sorry, not B. D. Yeah, D.
I think D's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right, episode 5. We love trash anime.
This was fire episode though, wasn't it?
I think it was. I can't remember exactly what we did, but I'm sure this was
I feel like this is a fun episode because it was just like us talking about the anime that we love that's like objectively bad. Like you talking about fucking Kiss Sis and me talking about like smartphone and shit like that.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't like stand out as like an absolute super banger, but I feel like it's like a proper B tier episode. Just for concept.
I would agree. I think concept and thinking about the things that we must have talked about at the time, it's like it had to have been fun and like entertaining at least to hear like Daniel championing Kiss Sis or me championing Isekai Smartphone and shit like that.
I feel like it's a signifier of a time where I shit on a lot of things on this podcast, and so to praise things that are blatantly terrible instead of break them down, there's it's a side of me.
Side.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a proper B tier episode.
I think I would agree. Now,
the anime
speaking
video
of
games.
episodes of all time,
this is one of the episodes of all time. Yeah,
this is definitely. Sure. I think this was our first like proper flop, like in comparison to.
Is this our lowest viewed video? I think it.
I don't think
if it's not, it's got to be close.
Probably relative
to time, it's definitely our biggest oof. I think
it has 35.
Yeah, it's like
this one's an episode of all time, 100%. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah, I'm just
like I know like not all of our episodes have like super huge views, but like 35 is the lowest.
We started talking about like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom and shit like that. It was wild.
Just looking through, let's see, anime voice acting, anime blogs, starting good anime late. That was only a couple months ago. There's some like that are like more recent that are pretty low and compare like, but are like still close to that even, which is. after 2 years, this might be the biggest flop episode for sure.
I don't like this.
I think it's the biggest flop episode. I also think I specifically remember that episode as probably the one that I felt like was the worst
probably
content
our first
for
struggle.
effort. Yeah, because we've had some episodes where it was like kind of a slog, and the content wasn't that great, but like a lot of those were just we're tired, or it's like nothing happened this week. This one we came in with like an idea and a theme and some actual thought, and it still was like
this was
I'm just not into it.
I think it's a testament to how dog shit anime video games really are.
I think that's exactly what it ended up being too. Is we went through it, kind of tried to be optimistic, talk about like, oh, what makes them so good or bad? What are some good ones? And by the end of it, it was just like, yeah, this just sucks.
Yeah.
And then our first episode 7 is our first
Isekai?
Yeah, Isekai is everywhere.
It's our first genre conversation, right?
Well,
I guess we had
it's
anime,
not a genre,
but that was a little bit. Isekai is a genre at this point. All right.
True.
Technically,
it's in the Oxford Dictionary.
Either way,
or whatever.
it was our first episode where it was like we're gonna take a type of anime.
Yes.
Specifically talking about, because music was kind of like, I think we were not sure if we wanted to talk about music anime or like just songs from anime, and it kind of ended up being a mash of all of that.
Yes, it's also what killed the Gochuucast thumbnails. I didn't even think about that. I could not get anything. If I put less effort into it and just like posted like a screenshot of Gochuucast in there, it would have worked. But like back then, I was like trying to make them like more appealing, like kind of like this first one and the third one, and then what we had with the second one before I got rid of it. But yeah.
Like you could have had the Gochuucast thumbnails go for a while, but they would have been mediocre thumbnails.
Some would have been better than
by
others.
Like algorithm standards. Yeah,
and eventually I would have run out of like. I don't know. I would have gone like I said before. I would have gone through like the entirety of Gochuucast and be like, yes, all right, screenshot, cut out, all that shit. Too much work. Anyway, Isekai is.
So it's interesting about episode 7. This was probably one of the first times we really talked about my relationship with ReZero.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is
I think
this
is what
the character arc.
Episode
18.
18, yes.
Yeah.
It's right there. I don't know why I'm like searching through here. Right? Just look at the thumbnails.
Yeah. So to me, that's an important storyline to the podcast history, right?
Yeah.
This
might have been our first storyline.
PK evolution with ReZero. And so that feels pretty iconic to me. Plus, like, Isekai is a polarizing topic.
Was this the one where you said Dr. Stone was an Isekai, or was that the? Was that? I can't remember if that was later in the timeline or.
It's hard. I feel like it's later in the timeline, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Oh, I think it was the fantasy episode, because we were like trying to define like fantasy and like isekai, and then like we were talking about like Harry Potter or something, and then you mentioned that like Dr. Stone is an isekai. I'm like 99% sure it was like
it's either these either isekai or the fantasy one. Just
it's one stuff. Yeah. I don't know. This one was pretty good. I like this episode. I think
this episode
probably could be a solid B.
Was probably at least, I think, solid B, maybe above the story one, like high B.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
We're probably not really ranking in the tiers, but we're gonna
actually,
define
before I weave it, I'm just gonna put it in the tier. We're just I'm not even gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like because we have 103, So.
Yeah. 105 actually. The last.
Oh, true. Okay.
Oh, I
I
forgot. I was looking at the thumbnail to episode 8, and I forgot about the one conversation.
Now this is an episode.
This is iconic. So episode 8 was the.
This is the wife.
Anime
is the
wife.
Best anime waifus. Yes, and this is.
Was it tier list, or did we just talk about our?
Just talked about our.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
However, it wasn't actually the anime waifus episode. For anyone who remembers and listens, it was the can Daniel fight a Komodo dragon in a 1v1 podcast episode, which is honestly, we probably should have made it more of a recurring joke. But every so often we remember the Komodo dragon, and it's just kind of funny.
Facts. It's funny.
This surely had to be our first S tier episode.
This was such a banger, dude.
Just
The thumbnail of the episode itself, just everything comes together to create an S tier episode.
Yeah.
The pivot to Komodo dragons is just like, how
icing on that cake, or
do you
whatever
not say
term
that
is.
that's an S tier?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like go back and listen to that. Like that, it's just such a like looking at this thumbnail, knowing the aura that oozes from the fucking just the randomness of this Komodo dragon. I should have done more to like make it stand out. Like gave it like an outline or something. I don't know, or maybe like chose a less flashy
and then it's
background.
just the Komodo dragon. It doesn't even show the anime waifu. Episode 9. This is the
summer 2022. Yeah, this is like our first. I don't know if this is a look into summer or if this was the.
I think it's probably look into.
I think it's a look into.
Yeah, I think it's a look into.
Because actually, yeah.
I can look at the date actually and see, because Licorice Recoil was this is the start of summer, so yeah, July 9th.
Yeah,
it would have been
these
start
in July or yeah.
This is like these are difficult ones to.
Yeah, they're kind of like average.
They're really difficult ones.
They're just like very typical. I feel like
this one being the first is interesting. During that season, I think in later ones we did a lot more of like, not necessarily predicting what we were gonna like, but kind of like looking into the season of, oh, I'm gonna try this because I might like it, and then this one was kind of just like more informative.
Bro,
or like there were so many continuing seasons in it as well.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of second seasons.
I feel like for me most of
I don't want to talk about that.
Feel for me most of the seasonal episodes are probably just around like B to C tier.
Yeah.
Unless something
I feel like
in
C
particular
tier is like a very fair, like they're just they're episodes that like can be enjoyed and like listened to, but they're not like, you know, they're not iconic.
Out, you know?
They're not like super bangers, you know.
Yeah.
But next up we have episode 10, our first guest episode.
Our first guest, my homie Lace. And Lace is so fun. I feel like, if I remember right, this episode felt probably a little more interviewy than we might have wanted to.
Yes, I mean, this is our first guest, and then
the topic was Gacha.
It was Gacha, which, I mean, this is during like me and Daniel's like prime pre-con phase.
Oh shit!
Yeah, this is like restricting guests to a topic, which is probably like not that we didn't stay on it the entire time.
To be fair, Lace is a
YouTuber,
like Gacha player. Like that's his
he's a pro
wheelhouse. So it was kind of like match personality to their topic. Our next guest episode is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that we were restricting as much as it's just
this was the one that makes most sense.
Are there because
we had we had the topic in mind with their specialty to bring them on. But yeah, I don't remember a whole lot. I feel like this was probably a B tier just for like the our first guest.
Asked a bunch of questions because I don't play Gacha that much. I mean, at all. Mainly, I just tried it. So
I think Lace was a phenomenal guest, given that he is a friend of mine that doesn't know Spatula at all and only like vaguely knows Daniel.
I like all the guests.
We were in the same pre-con clan. We didn't like talk that much.
Yeah. Whereas in like it was me and my homie and then my two friends that barely know him. And he did really well. I just think we didn't have like a dynamic for guests at that point.
Yeah, like
and so it probably ended up
developing our trinamic, whatever you call
that. It probably ended up being very interviewee, is my assumption. I would say B is probably
I'd say like a solid B, yeah. Alright, next up though, we got anime characters we can beat in a fight tier list.
The concept's funny, but there's no way this episode was good. Because I remember the type of characters we rolled up with were just like some of our favorites, and it varied from, does this character have superpowers, or is this character a high school girl? And that was the range we had.
True.
So, is it a funny thing to talk about? Yes. I know we had some funny conversations in it.
I can't remember which episode was it that we Was this the episode where we tried to determine if our favorite characters could beat Komodo dragons in fights? I can't remember. We did that in one of them.
I think it might have been a callback to Komodo dragons, or that might have happened in the original Komodo dragon. But I think it's more likely this is a callback to that.
Yeah, I think
because
it
I
was,
know we
I remember,
did callback.
Yeah, because I remember saying like Elena would kick my ass, but she like also kicked the ass of like Komodo dragons and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it was this episode.
I think it was also probably this episode.
I could probably like hit play on
which,
this episode to actually see. I'll do it on my phone so no one hears. Let me just with the door intro. God, dude, what a time! What a time!
I missed the door intro. Remember how happy we were when we had the door intro?
Remember, God, it's such a tragic loss that I'm too lazy to put it back together, even though it's like really simple.
Such a tragic loss that you could definitely fix.
I could fix. I think I thought it. Maybe I do. Oh no, you know what? This has to go up tomorrow. Never. I'm not fixing that shit tonight.
But maybe you fix it for 105. Enter
yeah,
our third year.
Enter the third year with more. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, this definitely had Komodo Dragon talk in it. I can envision.
If it had Komodo Dragon talk, it's definitely a B.
Yeah, I feel like we could probably do a better job with it. Like, you know, I would do a better job with all of these today. But
I like to edit and edit.
Yeah, the thumbnail's fire. The thumbnail's great.
It is.
It's I feel like this concept, when we were making ideas, felt more fun than it probably turned out as a product.
Yeah.
But we also probably had some Komodo Dragon talk in there, which I love callbacks like that. Bring Komodo Dragon back for season 3.
Yeah, season 3 Komodo Dragon arc. Yeah.
Speaking of banger episodes,
our top 10 worst anime.
Episode 12. This had to have been content.
I mean, maybe. I don't remember. Like I feel like this could be anywhere between a C and a B. I don't feel like nothing stands out to be enough.
I guess it depends how crazy we got with our bottom 10s.
I don't remember.
And I don't know that we would have said anything too crazy.
I might have ranted on gamers at best, but like I can't think of anything.
Oh, I'm sure we ranted on gamers. I probably ranted on Citrus.
Yeah, I don't remember enough about this episode. Like I feel like
I do remember kind of scraping for like my last couple bottom episodes and having stuff on there that was like, it's not really that bad. It's just like something had to be here.
Yeah.
Well, I think I said like Terrors in Residence was like shit. There's something I don't remember, but yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. This one was like average. I
feel like it's probably like a C tier. Maybe like we do? I feel like we could do considerably better with it now. Like not.
Oh, we definitely could. I think now we could have like
stinkers.
I feel like now we can have like really funny bottom 10 lists as well.
Yeah, mine has definitely changed over time.
Yeah,
really add in some polarizing stuff.
Yeah, maybe
I'm sure I had Red Girlfriend on my bottom 10, and it would still be on my bottom 10. So
yeah. I feel like this is a C tier with potential to remaster in the future. All right, episode 13.
Our second guest episode.
A proper Pokemon episode with Pokeaim MD.
The goat.
I feel like this was a banger episode. I feel like this one went more.
I feel like we were really
solid
happy
than.
I don't even remember what we talked about, but it was fun.
I know we got Joey to also like talk about non-Pokemon things for a little bit, but we did spend a lot of time talking about Pokemon anime.
Yeah, we got him a proper banger tweet as well. I remember that.
We did get a proper banger tweet.
He got tens of thousands of likes on that shit. We gave him a banger for sure.
I remember like Joey and I were like we like reminisced about some like boomer shit that like only we like remembered, but that's about the extent of it. But like yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a really fun episode. So like S or A or something. I don't know.
I feel like this would be another proper S.
I feel like it's gotta be an S.
Yeah, I think this is like one of our more solid guest episodes. Well, we have some good guest episodes. In there.
We have some good
definitely
guest
like
episodes.
A banger. The fact that we even got him on at all was like something we did not expect to accomplish. Shout out.
I think we had varied opinions because I think I was in there and I was like, he'll probably do it because that was still at the time where I was helping set up tours and stuff for him and things like that. But the problem was
it definitely helps that like we all knew him on some level. Like
Yeah.
Both of you probably more than me a little
For
bit,
sure.
but he definitely knew all of us for sure.
Yeah.
So that
It was
definitely
just at
helps.
that time I was still actively like doing things with him, so it was much easier. But what was funny is I'm pretty sure I was like, Daniel, I want you to ask him because it's like our group project basically, and I was like, if I ask him, I feel like he's gonna feel like he needs to do it
Yeah,
because I do all of these things or
but
something like that. There was definitely a conversation where it was essentially I was like, I think Daniel should be the one to ask.
yeah. I mean, this is like my stepchild, I guess. I don't
Stepchild.
know.
Who's the mom?
This
Uh,
is yeah, you all can be the mothers. This is like, the one SpongeBob episode where they like raise the clam.
Yes, I
yeah,
do. I remember that. Yes.
that's us.
Yeah, that's you too. And then
So
I'm
what's
like,
the impact?
which Chim is he's like a divorce. You're like divorce, I guess. I don't know.
Crazy.
It was
God.
that one never got
Chimpy.
its feet off the ground. We gotta bring Chip one day.
Chimpac's relation to the Gochuucast lore is hilarious, given that we have still not brought him on as a guest.
It's so funny.
Oh, I
Anime movies
anime
was the next
movies
one.
episode, yeah.
Sort of weird. I don't
And this,
know.
I think
This
this might
what
be an
Much.
episode of all time because I remember like even just looking at the title, we need to watch more anime movies.
we
I don't
didn't
think
watch. We didn't watch enough anime
we
movies.
have
There's
not
no
seen
way.
enough anime movies to comment on anime movies.
And now I've seen like 8 in the past like year or something like
Like
that. So
even now, we would be coping. I think to make a good
yeah.
anime movies episode. There's no way this was more than just like us going through anime movies and like, yep, I haven't seen that one, but it sounds pretty
It's
good.
definitely like
I think
super
we talked
cool.
about Pokemon movies. I actually
We
think we
probably
talked
talked
about
about Pokemon movies a good amount. We also probably talked about like things that make anime movies good or not. Because obviously Demon Slayer movie being what it was, I'm sure we were able to get some conversation about like why did Demon Slayer work versus like these other things. But I think at the end of the day, we just didn't watch enough of like the iconic movies for me to think that this episode could have been that good.
I can vividly remember this episode being ass. I think I think we talked about it in the episode. Like this,
We probably
we were
did.
not prepared. We were not ready for this.
it
But
was weird.
anyway, next up, anime that made us cry, episode 15. I don't.
I don't remember anything about this
I
one.
legit don't remember this. I think PK talked about like Anohana or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's in the
definitely talked
thumbnails.
about Anohana. It's in the
Oh yeah,
thumbnail,
fair
and
enough, fair enough. Yeah.
I am the
I don't
Anohana
yeah.
simp.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably like a fine episode, but I don't. What I put on the
I
Jeopardy, at
just
least the
don't
Jeopardy is like
remember it.
I okay, hold on. This is
Let's go. New.
Was
okay.
this probably the episode that started the flip meta though for Clint Ad?
Maybe I can't remember. I don't know.
It doesn't necessarily relate to the Gochuucast, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, this is probably around the time that I would have started making you flip to get me to watch Clint Ad.
Maybe.
I would agree with adding a tier in between C and the music anime because I think I wouldn't be surprised if this episode was decent. I
This
just
episode
don't
is
have any
probably
memory
better,
of it.
definitely better than these, but I
Yeah,
can't put it on like the same level as like the Jeopardy because at least we remember that in some capacity. This one is just like an episode that like we had the topic, we talked about it, and like I just probably don't remember anything I said other than like yeah these anime made me cry, and move on. Next
yeah,
up,
like the exact thing the topic was.
yeah, episode 16
Um,
or yeah 16 anime that need new seasons.
have we? I kind of want to re-listen to this one day just to see if we talked about any anime that have gotten new seasons.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. I
Looking at
like
the
Um,
that.
thumbnail, no.
I don't think so. The thumbnail, none of these have gotten new
None of these
seasons.
have gotten new seasons. uh,
Copium, because two of these I really want to have
Copium.
new seasons. Um, it would be kind of funny to like go through episodes like this and be like, not necessarily do we call anything because we weren't really predicting. It's more of like I'm sure I talked about Kekai Sensen, which has not gotten a new season either.
I almost like could bet my life. I guarantee everything we've said needs a new season hasn't gotten a new season.
I would also probably place that bet, but I feel like this episode was decent though, because it was mostly us talking about shows that we really like that are unfinished,
and what we'd like to see in the new season.
and
So,
things we would want to do. I know, it's probably talking about source material. I know when I would have talked about Kekai Sensen, I probably would have mentioned this was around the time that the manga finished for Kekai Sensen. And I think New Game was finishing around this time, so there probably was some talk about that.
We can give it like a C tier.
I feel like the content's probably decent. It's a fun topic. It's like one that we could definitely do again in the future. Maybe not like anytime soon, but I think there's always a plethora of shows that are like, this just needs more content.
Yeah, you're 4. You're 4. Let's see. Slice of Life Anime is Based, episode 17.
Slice of life topic. I mean, it's probably not better than the Isekai episode.
I mean,
but
I feel like it's probably just like another.
We do have a lot of, we do watch a lot of slice of life anime between at least me and Daniel. I would say C is probably fair. There's probably some really good conversation in there, but it's just not that exciting.
I can't think of anything like iconic that would have like come out of this this episode.
But things that may have been iconic. Episode 18.
Episode 18, definitely. This is like our first build-up episode.
The Great ReZero debate.
Featuring
crazy.
CB.
And I don't know. Was this... Surely I finished ReZero before this episode, right?
I'm pretty sure you did. I think I said to both of you, you need to finish ReZero before this episode.
I would hope I finished.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you finished season, because the whole thing was like, your opinion had flipped by this point because you did watch season 2.
And that, I feel like the part of the problem might be, because I actually think, if I remember right, this episode kind of like flipped the script, right? Because I kind of flipped my opinion, and then Spat, was it Spat that was kind of like the opposite side of the debate?
I don't think so.
I think that was just the arbiter in the middle or something.
I think some of the things he was saying, like, just
became
happened
like
to be, it just happened to be things that like I don't remember.
I don't remember. I just remember it was in the middle. That's all I remember.
You're like a pseudo-antagonist at some points, but I don't think...
Pseudo-antagonist? Oh,
I feel like we were building it up like it was going to be this big, like, Daniel SCB versus me thing because of my opinions on season 1, and then I watched season 2, and I was like, actually, it was pretty solid. And it still ended up being a good episode, but it was kind of probably a little anticlimactic for that character.
I don't think it quite reaches S tier, but I feel like this is going to be another
I think
A
tier. Is really,
I think A is fair for the Great ReZero.
SCB is like a fun personality.
This is our first non-creator guest, so it was a new field to step into. I guess he technically has a Twitch, but you know,
I think at the time it was like just exiting his creator phase. But also like most of the time,
regardless.
Most time during his creator phase, it's not like he was making content for like fans. It was more like he was making content because it was fun and he was enjoying it, and it mostly was just us friends hanging out while he streamed or did stuff like that.
Yeah. Alright, next episode. Action anime stimulate our monkey brains.
It's surely just another C.
This is definitely just a C. I can feel the C oozing from this episode.
Feel the C. Action anime is fun. We probably, I mean, given that you have Saber on there, we probably talked about like some really cool animation sequences, like Heaven's Feel animations and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I feel like most of these genre episodes are probably just going to be right down the middle.
Yeah. Speaking of things I can feel oozing, this has to be an episode of all time.
Oh man. Episode 20, live action anime. Something that we definitely needed to talk about.
Yes,
at some
and
point.
We definitely had so much. I think this was like worse than the movie. This
might be worse than the movie.
I think this might be our worst episode I can think of off the top of my head. Like,
do you think this is worse than the video game? Maybe.
at
Because
least
at
with the
least the
video
video
game,
game
like we
one.
played some video games, but like
Yeah, I
I
don't
can't
know.
think of many live action. I think I have fucking Avatar in the thumbnail on here. That's how desperate we were.
Yeah, I think I just realized that shows have live action, like shows that I didn't know have live action,
Yeah.
but like nobody watched them, you know? Like
Yeah.
We talked about stuff like that. This was probably right around the time that the One Piece live action was announced, but like not anywhere near the point where we would know if it was going to be good or not. Probably just in the range of like, there's a One Piece thing coming out eventually. I hope it's good. And now obviously we know it did end up being pretty good.
Definitely, it was an episode for sure. Next up, episode 21. This was our first, like, combination episode, I guess, where we talked about summer ending and how we like the shows from it, and then look forward to fall. But this is also probably, like, nothing to do with the episode. One of my worst thumbnails, easily. I phoned it in for this one.
This is definitely one of the worst thumbnails.
Freaking Mob Psycho.
The fucking hey, it's Red Arrow meta though.
The Red
it is Red Arrow meta.
The raw amount of space in between these motherfuckers. It's so funny, like, seeing, like, this, and then how fucking jam-packed the romance episode thumbnail is. Just full of shit. This is definitely just, like, a C, though. If most of them are probably C's. Yeah, episode 22. The We Love Romance Anime featuring Wari. Yes.
Wari. This was pretty good, wasn't it?
I feel like I remember this being good.
I remember really enjoying this episode. Despite the fact that I think, if I remember right, Wari and I had very different taste in romance anime.
I enjoyed every guest episode, to be honest, so I don't know. I mean,
there's no guest episode I look back at and like, yeah, I wish we didn't do that.
I definitely think the floor for the guest episodes is like B at worst.
Yeah.
I don't
think I remember enough about this episode to like put it.
I actually don't remember. I think
I feel
my gut
B
says
is
this
fair.
is probably my gut says it's probably a B. Yeah, with like potential if I re-listen to it to be like, oh no, this is a banger.
Yeah, we'll put it a solid B. Episode 23. Could we survive anime?
Was this like the
different anime worlds? And could we survive?
Or isekai into the anime world?
Could we survive?
It's a fun concept.
It's a concept that I feel like we could have done a lot better with, probably. I don't remember what we talked about with this episode.
The thumbnail's kind of funny. I don't know if we talked about all these things, but like the contrast of the stuff in the thumbnail, I'm like, yeah, we don't survive any of these question mark except Pokemon. Even then, it's like, what type of Pokemon world are we in?
Only if we have our own Pokemon.
We survive a normal Pokemon world. We all die in like Pokemon fan games or some shit like that because they're all so edgy.
That's actually true. Insurgents, we're doomed.
I think, yeah. This is probably a C, but like a different type of C.
It's like a C
like
with potential.
Yeah, like some of the C's we have here are just like, we look at it and we're like, it had to have been an average episode. This one, it's like, I don't remember anything substantial.
Like, the concept is strong enough on its own.
And the concept's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm just not comfortable putting it at a B because I don't have a substantial memory of it.
Yeah. Moving on, our favorite voices in anime. Episode 24. I don't remember a lot of this. Was probably
I feel like there's no way.
I can feel the D tier oozing from this.
I feel like there's no way this was.
I don't remember what. I mean, we just talked about like our favorite voice actors.
Yeah, we just like talked about voice actors. I can just feel that this one was a trash.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure it was because I'm sure I was talking about like random idol voice actresses and stuff like that. I'm
gonna throw an F. I feel like this one was probably like fine enough, while this one was.
Yeah, I'm gonna say F is pretty valid for this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, so episode 25 is the many tropes of anime.
Is this the dairy tier list?
No. The dairy tier list is later. That's right here, episode 32. This is the trope.
Okay, understood.
Trope talk.
What did we do for this one? So obviously we tropes.
We just talked about tropes.
It's like C or D. I don't remember this one.
I feel like it's like I don't think
feels like
I don't know. I don't know about a D. I feel like a C. I feel like
I
I
mean,
remember generally liking this one. It's not like a standout.
I feel like we probably had a good discussion about like the purpose of tropes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
there's probably good
yeah,
enough stuff in here to like get
good.
into a C. Okay, no, this one's a proper
This
the worst
gotta be
anime fan bases tier list.
This has also got to be a remaster one day.
Oh yeah,
bro.
2 years later, gotta be.
the war of fucking MHA versus JJK fan bases nowadays. I feel like if we watch this, actually, I'm gonna click it now. I want to see where we put some stuff.
Where's something?
Because I feel like JJK at this time was not unbearable.
Yeah, because this was before season
just
2.
Looking
right?
through, I don't even know where. Do we have JJK? Yeah, JJK isn't pretty trash. We were far too kind at that point in time.
Yeah, I think these days, if we remastered this, like MHA and JJK are just getting their own spot. There's just no way around it.
Yeah.
The MHA fan base on Twitter is crazy. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, there's some.
There are definitely some things to move around here. We have Fairy Tail and Despise, very much so. I feel like they could have been pretty trash, and I could have lived my life.
The higher or lower? I don't remember the tiers.
The first, with okay, the higher it goes, like, the worse it is. So we had Special Place in Hell, Hate with a Burning Passion, Despise, very much so, pretty trash, Best of the Worst, doesn't mean you're any good, not that bad, and then Slice of Life fans.
Yeah, this could be interesting.
I feel like
this episode is basically this episode is just basically becoming what Gochuucast episodes do we need to remaster one day.
Yeah, I'm looking at these. Clearly, we didn't. I hadn't entered my hating arc yet, and we clearly need to redo the worst anime fan base tier list. I don't know if I'd go as far as to put this in S, but probably an A. I feel like
it was probably an A. It was probably very fun.
Yep. Okay. So
I specifically remember some conversations in it.
Now, next up is an interesting one, because this is laying PK to rest. You were not here for this episode.
I was not here for this episode.
So by default, it has to.
And I think I began to listen to it, and I just never actually got around to listening to the whole episode.
I feel like I remember enjoying this episode, but I don't. There is.
I think it was good, but we kind of ran out of stuff at the end, so I don't know.
There is one specific thing I remember. We were talking about ReZero like novels, I think, in this one, and then I'm like, okay, let me go. My shelf is like behind me. Let me go grab it real quick. And the first time I did that, you like talked while I was gone, and so like there was no void. But then I went to go grab another one because I can't remember what we were talking about.
And there was just
and
void.
Spat didn't say anything. Like fuck. Grab the novel.
I probably didn't realize you were going or something like that. I don't know, but yeah.
So you just let there be silence. I mean, even if you didn't
you were doing something else,
sitting there.
I don't know. Like I don't remember exactly.
I feel this is like a difficult one to place.
It's like C or D or something. I don't know. It was like okay.
I feel like C.
It was probably a C. Everything I know about it was that you guys had fun doing it. And I was dead.
Like without you. Yeah, no,
this comes back later, of course. I don't remember which episode it was. We're laying Spat to rest. There it is, episode 16.
Yep, there it is. The exact same thumbnail. I think in the laying Spat to rest, we'll talk about this too. I think there was another moment where you like left and it was just me, and I turned it into a bit. And it was like not really that funny, but I was just trying to make it this entire bit the whole time.
I don't remember. I'd have to like listen back to some of these.
I'd have to do it. It was not like a comedic masterpiece of mine or anything, but it was entertaining me at the moment.
Yeah, so we got episode 28, anime that could use remakes. I don't remember a lot about this episode. I mean, obviously talked about.
Once again, do you think we got anything right? Well, not necessarily right, but do you think we called anything?
I doubt it. I feel like this is probably a D tier episode because I guarantee we ran out of things to talk about very quickly and just started bumbling around.
Yeah, I don't remember this one.
I feel like this like
I would also say D tier.
We probably
Sure.
shit on Promised Neverland enough, and then like moved on, like just didn't know what to do after.
The show was only one season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably talked about shows that had maybe like anime only endings. Like I maybe talked about Soul Eater.
Yeah.
I could see stuff like that.
Next up, we have the many art styles of anime. So 29.
Oh, this is around the rise of Bocchi the Rock. Good to know.
Yo, Bocchi sweep.
Yeah, this was like near the end of Bocchi.
It was like when everyone knew what Bocchi was, because we talked about
it. The middle of Bocchi's run.
Yeah, we talked about it in the episode 21, but we talked about it as just like, oh, it's a music anime. Yeah, we'll watch it, and it'll probably be okay, maybe, like that type of thing, not knowing what it would be.
What it has become, for sure. Okay. This is probably like a C tier episode.
Just like a C, yeah.
C.
I feel bad defaulting to so many of these as C, but
it's like the middle. It makes sense to default to C, like for things that are like I feel like we have a decent like, bell curve here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 30 is the sub versus dub debate.
This had to have been an F.
I don't know about
I don't remember this. I think I was like kind of defending dubs, but not really. So it didn't even turn out to be like an actual debate.
This is probably a D. Like
to me, this feels like it would have been like a really gimmicky episode that we maybe had fun with, but would there have been substance to it? Maybe.
In the year,
I watched a lot of dubs in my day.
In the year 2024, we might have had a better discussion on this, but I just don't remember.
I would agree.
Next up, the manga episode.
Good thumbnail.
Yes, very.
Ooh, yeah.
Episode 1 thumbnail in black and white. Very artistic.
Very topical.
Very creative. They never would have thought of that, I'm sure.
Never once would have came up with that one. I don't remember. Was this episode good? I feel like I remember us recording this episode.
This is another thing that I feel
feeling
like would
it
be
was
better.
Kind of just like.
This is probably another like D tier episode.
Yeah,
I'm gonna agree because I feel like I remember walking away from this episode being like, "We'll get him next week."
Get him next week, yeah.
Like it wasn't the worst thing, but it was like at the time.
I just doubt we did a good job with it.
Had just read like nothing, and I think this was when we talked about the fucking Korean hentai shit.
What?
No, oh my god!
I don't remember.
No.
You just spoke words. I don't know where those came from.
What was it? What was the series? Yeah. No, I remember the series because I have it on my planning.
Is it the one that's like Spat Red or whatever?
It was the one Spat Red. What was it? Velvet
Pervert's Kiss. Something. Pervert's Daily Life.
That's...
Oh no, Velvet.
Well, there's also Pervert's Daily Life. Velvet Kiss was definitely talked about on the podcast before as something.
Yeah, and I remember one of my.
I have still not read it, but
that's okay. It's not that great, but anyway, point is, I remember this one. I vaguely remember this because I think I mentioned that like before I consumed anime, my first thing I ever read was a manga, or like the first like whatever Japanese thing I read was a manga, and then like one of the manga I read was like functionally softcore like porn. Like it wasn't like Pervert Daily Life, but it was like it was like a Japanese manga, but it was like I don't know. It was
you're like origin stories were definitely some of the more insane weird things of like the early episodes.
Yeah, no, I know. This episode was probably like a C or I don't know. I don't remember much of this episode.
Yeah, I just don't remember enough of the episode at all. But next up, the dairy tier list.
Here's the thing. S tier idea.
It was my idea, but
we realized the dairies were not different enough to be really entertaining.
Yeah, because there's like 25 of them, but like 15 of them are like
probably,
the same.
Yeah, like probably like a C tier episode.
Yeah, I feel like the idea was really exciting.
I don't even know if there's a good way to execute it. It's just like a weird category. I don't know.
Because I remember you telling this idea and me being like, "Oh, that'll be probably pretty fun," and then getting into the episode and being like,
"Because
so what's
the dairy
difference?
Wikipedia, right? The dairy wiki or whatever."
Yes, I do remember.
Some of them were just
I
like
do remember
basically
the
the same.
Yeah.
But next up, episode 33, A Merry Gochuucast Christmas. This is the one where we found the Christian anime
We talked
plot.
I
about
was
Christmas
about to
this,
say
this
that.
is
That was
this is
iconic.
Oh, you're right.
this is an
This
S tier
is
episode.
iconic.
This
I
is
really found
iconic.
multiple
S
vlogs
tier
like that,
episode.
but yeah, this I
Yeah,
remember.
we found another one later, but like this was like
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
time we ever discovered one of them. And
Our first foray into the Christian anime community.
This was 100% our first expedition to like random other website.
Yeah, which I mean we would do later, but this is iconic, dude.
This is iconic. This is lore.
Banger thumbnail, banger episode, just a whole slew of iconic.
A whole lot of bacon.
I think this is our last Gochumon type thumbnail. I don't think I have any other ones in here.
It's probably, if it's not the last, it's probably close.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely the last. I'm not seeing jack squat.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Number 76 thumbnail.
What's our thumbnail
But
gonna
anyway.
be for this? Are we gonna have a Gochumon thumbnail for this episode?
I have no idea what we're gonna have for this. Like this is gonna be this is gonna be a tough one to market because our other one this is a banger idea. I already did it. I can't do it again.
Already did it. Cannot do it again.
Cannot do that again.
What's topical? The solo leveling shit. Can we make the solo leveling shit into a thumbnail for this?
What's solo?
The
leveling?
fucking I don't. The problem is I've never watched solo leveling, but it's the manga panel that everyone posts with like the statues, and they use it as a meme for. Here, let me find.
I know, I know what you're talking about. I think, but I don't.
I don't know that we can make it into anything.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm not seeing the.
I mean, we're doing a tier list right now, so it's not impossible. Yes, that one. That's the meme that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I could. There's not a chance in hell I could make that into a thumbnail. 0% chance.
It was just an idea.
Yeah.
Anyway. Goodbye 2022 anime. Was this a yearly recap episode?
I think it was.
I assume it sounds like a yearly recap episode.
Fuck, we just didn't do that for 2023.
We did not do a yearly recap for 2023. But we did like our awards, right? So it was like functionally.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing, just different.
Yeah. Functionally the same, but maybe like easier to justify. Yeah, because we did.
It's like a more polished version of whatever the fuck this was.
Yeah, because we did our personal anime awards, and then we did the Crunchyroll ones later.
Yeah. Okay.
2023 one would be better, but yeah.
This one's probably like a C tier. Like at the end of the day, like it's just an unpolished turd that we like later.
We polished it.
Yeah, we
it smells
polished
good
it later.
now. Copium.
Why did you post the second one?
It was just so funny. That was literally me.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel like this had to be C because it was our first time doing a format that we would just improve.
Yep. Next up is the Winter 2023 anime begins. This is
an interesting one though because of the shows that would have been coming out.
I feel like there's like some iconic like character arcs that come from this, but at the exact same time, I also like don't know how much that translates into like.
I don't know if we know enough to say that this seasonal episode was better than other seasonal episodes.
Well, this one had Angel Next Door.
Dude, this was Angel. This was
like the Onimai
Lock.
Yeah, Bochi the Lock. Fucking
yeah, Bochi the Lock is fire. The thumbnail for this is great. I love the thumbnail.
There's a lot going on.
Fucking Supreme Masculine. So it's like my gut says this was probably one of our better seasonal episodes.
I feel like this
thinking
could
about
like
the content.
You could like limp into a B tier. I feel like maybe like
I would agree.
It would be a lower B, but I feel like this could end up in a B just for knowing what it could it becomes. All right, episode 36 is anime shorts are pretty goofy. This is probably
this
like
was a fun one.
A C tier episode.
I think this is a C tier episode with like the problem basically being that there's just not that many really good anime shorts. And so we probably had a couple that we were talking about that were really like entertaining.
Yeah, like Yamano Susume, like, you know, we both love. And then but just like the other ones, like I think I'm the only one who'd seen Isekai Quartet or Kaginado.
You're the only one who'd
Mysteria
seen
Friends.
Kaginado.
Maybe you'd seen a little bit of Mysteria Friends, I don't remember.
I probably talked about like the Bandori
Yeah, like
chibis
the
and stuff like that.
group
I
of
probably talk
Pico.
about like
But
Pokemon shorts,
Yeah,
like
maybe
ones on YouTube.
I feel like we probably did fine with this one, but I doubt we like went above and beyond for anything. All right,
yeah,
next up
I would agree.
was our first. I think it was our first ever over 2 hour episode. Was the voting for
Crunchyroll
Crunchyroll Anime Awards
2023.
It was a
2023,
banger.
but we
I
vote
don't
for
care what
too
anyone says.
long.
It was a banger.
So here's the problem: is this a banger, or is the recap episode in a couple
I
months a
want to
banger?
say
True,
our
true,
reaction was
true,
more of a
true.
banger.
I want
I
to say,
can't remember.
yeah,
Which one did I go on my rant on? That's like the real question. I can't.
I feel like it had to have been after the results, right? No.
Would have been
that's my thought, right?
because I remember like okay, I remember ranting about like directorial stuff, and then PK
Oh,
was
right,
like
yeah.
had his music rant. Did we have multiple rants in like the
I
lead
feel
up,
like
or were they in the
maybe we did. Maybe
which?
we did both because we might have ranted in this episode and then saw the results and we're like, "Yeah, I've already talked
Yeah,
about this shit. Whatever." That feels like what might have happened for at least my end of it.
It's so I can't remember because I don't have. You know what? No, I'm not
For
gonna
what it's
do
worth, I
this.
think all of the Crunchyroll episodes are probably
This is
like
probably A
really
tier
good
regardless.
episodes. Yeah, I think they're all probably A. Um, if we knew for sure which one had our rants, and if the same one had all of our rants, that specific episode would
Like
probably go up to
if
S.
this one had both rants, like
It's an S tier episode.
you know a rant's a good one. I have to like edit out parts of the fucking rant.
Oh, is that the one? Is that the one where
I said a goofy
you
word that
accidentally said a word?
I said a
Yeah,
word that
I remember
probably
that.
wouldn't have gotten us in trouble, but you never know. Anyway, this is my worst thumbnail actually. I think the
The
fantasy one.
fantasy anime one. Yeah.
I phoned it. I phoned it in.
Why is Wyoming
Wait,
there?
no, actually, no. This is the worst thumbnail right here.
Yeah,
This is like
yeah.
a
Okay, that one.
close. This is a
That one
close
is pretty
second.
bad.
This one's also pretty bad. Fuck,
Um.
I have some shitters along here. This is like the give
Oh
up
my
mark.
god.
Fantasy anime has to be C. I could see this being the best of
Like the
the
genre
genre
ones.
episodes, though. Yeah, we probably had some good conversations in this. Probably ranted about.
I mean, the
Yeah.
I
Isekai
mean, this
one's
could
probably
be
better.
the Doctor Stone's Isekai, but I don't think it was. I think
I
it
think
was the
this was
Isekai
It was
episode.
one of them, yeah.
I think it was the Isekai episode. It just makes more sense to have it be in there.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Episode 39.
We made an AI right anime. This is
Banger.
a
Dude,
banger. This was iconic.
This
This is
is
a
a banger.
banger.
This
This
is so good. I love
This is so good and so
Yes,
fun.
yes,
And the
yes.
start of our AI arc, which is not
We got an AI
necessarily
kind of fit.
not necessarily resolved. We just come back to AI frequently. It's
Dude,
like
funny.
exponentially we come back to AI more and more often as the podcast progresses. Because we had
True.
this episode, and then we probably had a long break, and then AI came up again, and then a slightly shorter break, and then now it's like every couple episodes.
Track
AI
the
comes
number
up.
of mentions of AI over the past, 100.
In the year of 2024, it's just like one of the hottest topics to think about.
Facts.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Usually just turns into like a doom and gloom like conversation of like, well, fuck. It's like
I
an
remember this
inevitability.
episode being so fun because it like worked. It wasn't the like best anime ever written or anything, but we were
No,
like,
that's what made it funny.
Obviously
yeah,
not. Yeah.
it made a funny anime, and it like had a good amount of continuity and
Yeah,
stuff like
we
that.
got our our spatula scholarly. He loves
Yes.
to study. You love to study.
Big studios. I don't even. What were the other things? Like my character was clumsy, I think it was, or something like that.
You were
He was
clumsy,
like,
and then I
it
was
was like supposed to be like sneaky cunning, but also like sometimes he just fucks up. I think was
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
I
prompt that
think
we were
I was
trying
like
to
the
do.
leader or whatever the fuck, and it
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
it just really honed in on those
It
specific
I
just
remember
things.
really
the funniest thing.
liked that.
The funniest thing was we would ask it for more details, and it would just spit back the same story. Like it wouldn't even like give us any more details.
Who
about
is
the characters.
who is our friend?
We had multiple.
Didn't it make another character for our party?
I think so.
We like
that.
yeah, like
People joined us.
brought in a new character, and then it like completely forgot about them. Like, wait, hold on. You have to include this new character. I cannot remember for the life of me what the actual fuck happened in this, but I'm sure. Like,
didn't we like beat the Demon Lord in like episode 7 of this, and then we were like, oh shit, what do we do now?
I don't remember. I don't think we. Yeah, we beat the Demon Lord.
It was
like,
Mira.
I'm like, yeah, this is like
the
way
character. The character was Mira. That was the name. We might have had 2.
I think we beat the Demon Lord. I'm like, we can't end it here. We got to keep going. And then like there's like a new bigger Demon Lord or some stupid shit. I can't remember.
There was Mira, and Nina. Those are our party members.
I see. Okay.
Very creative.
Definitely
we
a
need to
banger
make
episode.
Season 2.
Season 2, yeah, maybe one day we come back to it.
Season 2, we're gonna have to like re-listen to that episode, get all of the information, put it into an AI, and be like, now make a season 2.
Make a season 2 out of this. Okay. Next up, anime villains are hard to write. So it's probably a
this
C
one
tier.
was probably fun.
I don't remember this one.
But yeah, it probably was a C tier.
Yeah. What makes an anime good? This is a longer episode. This is probably like a generally good discussion.
This probably had a really good conversation, but this thumbnail is horrendous.
So
the thumbnail is so funny. I love it.
F tier thumbnail of all time.
Thumbnail.
F tier thumbnail, B tier episode. Probably.
Sure.
I'm like, I just don't even think I knew like what to put on the thumbnail. So I'm like, fuck it, dude. Generic background, put the text on there. Move on with my life.
What is this background?
I don't know.
I
think it's like a random fantasy background.
Is this from an anime?
Fuck
yeah.
No. Definitely not.
Episode 42.
Episode 42. Anime culture is kind of wild. There's probably some generally fun stuff in here. I mean, we talked about the Bochi the Rock fandom memes.
It's 136.
Oh,
yeah,
true.
Yeah,
in the middle, there's the guy who married a doll of Hatsune Miku, and then there's the VTuber Wine on the right.
We probably talked about some funny things like Dockies and things like that too. It was probably like a C with like fun conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's probably like a B tier episode. I just don't remember like enough about it to.
It sounds like it would be B tier.
It sounds like it would be B tier with like no point to it. It'd just be one of those episodes where it's like we ramble and it's fun.
Yeah. All right. Next up, the anime hairstyle tier list.
This is another S tier idea that we probably
did not do a good enough job with.
Probably had C tier execution. This had to have been funny though.
I think, yeah.
It's probably B tier, like somewhere between S
and B tier.
I just remember we talked about like the old style, like the 90s, like crazy Dragon Ball
like
hair.
this fucking insane. Like Yugi's hair is just insane. Like, yeah. I mean, I think one of the issues with that is like we really gravitated towards like the basic hairstyles as like peak fiction, and then like the other ones are like they're just too insane to like rate highly. I feel like we maybe should have just stuck to insane hairstyles.
What was that one? The guy was like not the man bun, but like he had like something sticking out of his head or something.
The fucking like, chainsaw
oh,
man
yeah,
character. Did we have his hair in there?
Yeah, like the top knot. Yeah,
we did have that in there.
Like that.
Okay. Next up, this is our first ever reaction to the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I mean, we said earlier, this is like, okay, this is technically the last Gochumon thumbnail. Shout out Chino for being on the side here.
Shout out Chino for making it. This one's hard because this had to have had some funny reaction. I think we've said all the
like a Demon Slayer fantasy
A's.
Rant for sure. So this is definitely.
I think we said all the Crunchyrolls must be A's, but also this one had potential to be really fun.
One of these two were probably S tier.
One of these two
think
were
it's
S.
probably
we
this
just
one
don't know which
because
one
it's 2 hours and 8 minutes long. But yeah, I just don't remember.
Okay. We have had a long streak of A, B's, and C's. So episode 45 has come to interrupt
the
us.
horror anime episode. We avoided this one for so long until we just
didn't we
couldn't.
spin this?
Yeah, it was on the
At one
wheel.
point,
Yeah.
did we have a wheel?
Yeah, we had a wheel of genres, and it landed on horror, and they were like, "Fuck, dude." Yeah, this one this was
after episodes of all time. I don't know.
I don't think it was an episode of all time, but it was probably enough.
Sure, good enough.
Like these stand out as like the most dog shit episodes.
Those two stand out.
I feel like unremarkably terrible.
I feel like horror was probably bad because we didn't have stuff to talk about, but we probably did okay with it. It was just copium.
Yeah.
Whereas in those three were bad because the content just sucked.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, what is the best anime from each year? This was an interesting concept. Yeah, so the Warrior episode 2.
This one was fun. I loved this concept.
It was interesting, like looking through each. It was starting from like 2010, I think, is what we did.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I remember really liking this. This in my head, this is at least a B.
Yeah, I'd say it probably ends up at a B. Though there's like nothing about it that I'm like stands out as like
an
A.
Yeah, I don't remember anything standing out, but it's probably enjoyable.
But it was definitely like a fun episode to go through. It was a good concept. Next up, we have Goodbye Winter Anime, Hello Spring 2023. This one was.
I don't want to play with you anymore. Oh my god.
Did we do this after we had all watched Oshinoko?
So,
episode 1.
We have this episode number 49 over here.
You're right. We probably came back to it. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we saved it. I still feel like
this is just another.
This is probably still. It's interesting because we put the one. What's it called in B?
I thought we put
Winter,
all of the.
What was it?
We put this one in B. I feel like this one probably had interesting discussions, and that's like why it's difficult for me to just automatically throw it in C.
I'm not against it because I know we had a few seasonal episodes that were really good in the middle.
Yeah, because sometimes the shows are really interesting.
Yeah, I feel like this one could probably land at a B, and then like I guarantee some of the other ones are C's, but
yeah.
Bro, this next one I do not remember doing at all.
You don't remember the 20 questions? Like you would ask, like we played 20 questions. You have to guess the character.
I don't remember doing that. It was probably fun. We probably had fun doing this. I'm blanking on this one for no reason.
I think we just like went around in like a circle. Not circle.
Yeah, like we would like choose a character from a show, and you would have to try and like guess the character. This is probably like another S tier idea with like C tier execution.
This was I feel like I'm reading this and I'm like, we did this idea, that's fire. And then I'm like, but the fact that I don't remember it makes me feel like
you don't remember it. This is probably like a low B. I feel like
I would agree. This is probably a really good episode. I'm probably just having a brain moment where it's just like I don't remember this one episode for no reason.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have Oshinoko is Wild. The first ever... Actually, no, ReZero's first ever anime-specific one. This is our second ever
anime-specific.
Yes. I feel like this is one of our most aesthetic thumbnails. Like, just the way the colors all blend in.
This is a nice thumbnail. This is surely a good episode. I mean, this
it probably lands in a B. I don't know if I would
think I would agree.
I don't think I could like say anything about it like justifies raising it into the A tier.
But it had to have been good, bro. It was Oshinoko. That show's
I think at the time we just didn't have enough information about Oshinoko also to like really, because I think of like the ReZero debate. We had so much content to talk about and so many things like that for a one episode standalone, and this was probably just like episode 1 was a masterpiece. And the manga's wild, and that was like
we got an hour 52 out of this. Like this was definitely like we banged on this one. It's like arguably an A tier. I just don't know if I can remember anything like hyper specific about this episode to like make me raise it.
I would agree. That reading the title for episode 50 makes me laugh.
The 86th episode, but it devolves into nonsense. This is like a pre-AX era where I'm like freaking out about like getting onto a plane or some shit, and that's like all I remember. I don't remember what else
we definitely had plane. Is this the one where we booked plane tickets
I think
for you
we booked
on
plane
the
tickets.
podcast.
I think it was after the episode, but
I think we started and then we're like, okay, let's finish the episode, and then Mars and I will help you get your plane tickets. Which is hilarious. That we, once again, random aside in the episode, that was like we started talking about 86. It was probably great conversation. 86, great show, and then it became, oh, you need plane tickets like now, so we're gonna do this on air for 20 minutes. My gut says probably either a low A or a high B.
I feel like I put it on like the same level
I
probably
feel
as
like
like the
B is
Oshinoko
valid.
episode,
Yeah,
like a high
Mars is
B.
funny, but I think Mars was funnier in his second episode that we'll get to later.
Episode 69 is going to be like a polarizing discussion here.
It's going to be a very polarizing discussion.
I tuned the fuck out for that episode. I do not remember anything about it. Episode 51 was anime journalism is awful.
This was when we went onto the website and like just read articles, right? Like
yeah, I
one
don't
of
remember
those
like
episodes.
what article I read that like spurned this. I think it was one that like I think it was a couple of them. One was like Oshinoko is bad because there's a revenge plot and Demon Slayer did it already. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, there was an
Oh,
Oshinoko
you're right. I
article.
do remember us reading that.
Yeah.
This is like a C tier idea that we probably just like enjoyed and had.
We probably elevated it to a B tier. Yeah, like
It's just fun because of like the ridiculous shit you see in
it's
some
easy
articles.
to read other people's hot takes
and make
then
fun
like
of them.
yeah, be somewhat entertaining about it. And I guess this is episode 52.
Yeah, episode 52. This is our 1 year anniversary. I don't remember what we did for our
What did we do?
What
did we do for our 1 year anniversary?
What did we do?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was a year ago, dude. I don't remember, man.
I don't remember what this episode.
A year ago, it like
was.
feels like almost no time, but it feels like a really long time at the same time. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just been a blur.
Yeah, like
oh
we
no,
didn't
the
do
comments
anything
don't
visually.
tell me.
Yeah, I looked at the
Comments
comments
aren't telling
too.
me what we
Everyone's
did.
like, yay, another, happy birthday or whatever, and it's like, oh fuck.
Oh shit.
Quick, someone who can like listen to things without consequences.
Hold up,
the
I'm
episode.
pulling up the transcript.
What did we do? It's so funny looking at the description. We have like all these like social media links. I do not use any of them.
I remember making all those social medias.
Yeah, I had like we have the email. I made all of them, and then it's just like I do not use them. The clips channel has like one thing, and I'm like I got rid of it. I need to fucking delete the channel probably. Yeah, I need to update our description probably.
The clips channel existing is really funny.
It's there. It's just it doesn't do anything because I'm too lazy to get the clips.
Did we update our top 10s here?
I don't think so.
I don't
remember that.
Fuck, did we?
I
feel like that was more recent, wasn't it?
We did it again on episode 100.
I don't think we did it in episode 52.
I'm going the transcript right now, and we talk about our top 10s at the beginning.
You're going through the fucking Okay, hold on.
I don't know if we updated it. We might have just like had a conversation. But like, oh, what's changed after? Yeah, you can generate a transcript of the audio.
Well, I can't do that for me right now because I can't. My desktop is occupied by everything we're doing right now. But I'm sure the transcript's not very good.
I don't know what the hell we're talking about. Oh no, it's really bad. Like I'm scrolling through it, and it's like mediocre. I think we might have been
something low.
I think we might have done the exact same thing that we were doing here, but without a tier list. As I'm going through it, I think we might have.
Did we reminisce?
Might have been looking at some of. Yeah, I think we were just reminiscing. Wow, if that's what it was, we really are uncreative. Yeah, we 100% are reminiscing because they see us talking about like the Christian site and the journalism.
No. Well, a tier list version. What we're doing now is a lot better.
This is a lot. Yeah, this is much more. This is a
polished. This is a much better version. We've definitely. I think this was just a reminiscing episode.
Fuck, dude. Okay, I'm gonna put a B tier for the thumbnail alone, and we're just gonna move on. I can't put our fucking birthday episode in C tier. Okay, next up is the Full Metal Alchemist theorem. Episode 53.
I forgot we did a Full Metal Alchemist episode. I mean, I know
it wasn't a Full Metal Alchemist episode. This was so this was our first ever non-specific topic
You're
episode,
right.
and so from here on out, it's going to be a little harder to remember.
It's going to be harder to figure out what we were talking about.
Yeah. So in here, I don't remember how it came up, but I brought up like the infinite monkey theorem or whatever the fuck, that like, you know, if you put an infinite amount of monkeys in a room for an infinite amount of time, eventually they will rewrite Shakespeare. And so what we did with the Full Metal Alchemist theorem was that if we keep producing anime for an infinite amount of time, eventually, you know, one of them will pass Full Metal Alchemist, but then they have to review on it, and you know, eventually every anime will be rated terribly.
I do remember this. That eventually Full Metal Alchemist will bring the ratings of every anime down. That was the infinite Full Metal Alchemist theorem. Honestly, fire. I don't know if the episode was good, but the theorem that we've created here, fire theorem.
I
also,
like
a year later,
B-tier episode.
Yeah. Also, a year later, kind of funny because isn't Full Metal Alchemist just dethroned at this point?
Oh yeah, Freerin fucking blew it out of the water, dude. It's not even close.
That's what I'm saying. So that's kind of a funny one to look at because it's the infinite Full Metal Alchemist theorem was debunked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just checked the rankings again.
It's not even close.
On my enemy
it's
list.
insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like 9.37 and it is not moving like that. Like it already beat it like when it first started airing or whatever, and then didn't move, and now it's like it's pretty insane what Freerin accomplished there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
episode 54. Back to AI.
Yeah, this is AI being used in anime because it was like the backgrounds for this random ass short anime they made with AI.
I don't remember this one being too crazy.
It's probably a C-tier episode.
We've had so many AI conversations, and this one I'm just kind of thinking about, and I'm like, I don't think this was that like one of our good AI conversations. I think this is just like, oh, AI is back.
Yeah, this is probably a C-tier episode.
Yeah, I don't think we
55. What
the anime life lessons, episode 55.
What the hell is this?
Wait, anime life lessons. Hold on. What have I learned from anime?
What did we talk about?
And we talked about real life clearly, because it's in
apparently.
Like,
I mean, real life. You know, to be fair, that show's like kind of not deep, but like, you know, it has some like.
I feel like what it might have happened was like Oshinoko probably spurned like a discussion on like real life portrayal in anime.
You're right.
They, like, talked about
that sounds right.
Because this was around the Akane episode, probably.
I mean, looking at the next episode thumbnail here, definitely.
I mean, yes, but also, that makes sense because it probably started with something in that vein. I mean, this is probably a good discussion, but I don't think it would have been better than like the average.
Yeah, you can probably just go and C tier. All right, next episode.
Now time for perhaps our greatest episode.
Arguably one of the best episodes, and you weren't even there for the full thing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I think
this is definitely an S tier for sure. Like, easily.
Yeah, dude, Ed is.
Ed, I really want Ed to be back. I know.
Definitely are. I mean,
scheduling's hard.
Maybe it feels mean to say it's our best guest easily. Like, it's just, I think it's just who he is and what he does is like, it just makes for such a good guest episode. Like,
it's like it's anime, but it's like on a different like axis. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like the way he fuses it is very different.
Yeah, like there are things I talk about from this episode to this day in like general conversations. Like, it is genuinely just like, just definitely one of our better episodes for sure.
Yeah, I'm like
I think that we probably won't rank within the tiers, but
yeah, there's
definitely a strong case to be made that this might be the best episode in terms of content that we made.
Easily in terms of content. Holy shit, not even close.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everything in S tier is like such a general idea that we just so happened to create into a banger through happenstance. But this one right here was like...
This was produced, like, yeah.
This one was built different, simply.
He was inspired.
Yeah. Okay.
Episode
Next,
57.
the times have changed. I think this is built like an episode where we gave up on talking about anime.
This is built 100% like an episode where we started talking about something completely different, and that probably made for like a good podcast.
Yeah, like
right?
we got a Game Boy, a CRTV, and Blockbuster in the fucking thumbnail,
Blockbuster.
and a kid playing Fortnite. This was definitely probably a banger conversation that I don't remember.
I don't remember, and had nothing to do with the podcast that we are.
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's like a filler episode, but except like it's like one of the it's like
It's
like
filler,
Goku and
probably.
Piccolo driving cars type of filler. Like
the thumbnail makes me confident enough to say that this was probably a B-tier episode. Yeah.
Okay.
We filmed that one ahead of time, probably too.
We definitely
no. Because this is we're going to AX.
Yeah, well, actually, okay, yeah. So going to AX was probably. This is a tough one. I don't remember exactly which ones we filmed.
I think we talked about. So episode 62, which we'll get to in a few, is talking about AX. So we probably kind of like
that was a couple weeks
filmed a lot.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks after AX because you had the San Diego shit as well.
Yeah, so, we definitely bulked a lot of this because that was the whole reason why laying Spat to rest happened. Was because we were filming so many episodes ahead of time.
It started with Goodbye and it's like Spring Anime, and then it ended with Anime Leaks Are Everywhere. Like we bulk recorded those 3.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think 58, which is we're going to Anime Expo. I don't remember it being very good because I think we just talked about like the things that we were going to do.
Yeah, it's probably like
and it was like
C-tier episode.
It was probably entertaining for us because we were looking at like, oh, what stuff do they have? But as like content, it was probably kind of meh for anyone listening that's not going to Anime Expo.
Yeah, probably fine.
It is kind of a funny title to have on our podcast because it makes it sound like
we're gonna have like our own panel or some shit.
Yeah, it definitely makes it sound like the entity of the Gochuucast is going to Anime Expo and not just me and Daniel are going there.
The industry pass shit existed beforehand, I 100% would have the Gochuucast entity was going to Anime Expo.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I would have taken
we would have had press passes and everything.
I don't know what press pass is, but we have. I like the industry pass. You get like it's cheaper, and I think you get access to a room with like 4 people with the pass. But I like literally don't know where that would have been, or if it like would have been worth going into at all.
Probably not, other than maybe once for us to just be like, "Oh, what's this like?"
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of things that we continued the bulk record. Started the bulk record. This is Goodbye Spring Anime 2023. Hello Summer. Probably C tier. I don't.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, I don't.
We were also in bulk recording phase. I'm sure that like by the end of bulk recording phase, we were grasping at straws.
Yeah.
I think we had more once Anime Expo ended and you guys came back. So.
Oh yeah, once we get to, but I'm sure like laying Spat to rest episode 60, we might have had some stuff that we could do just because you were gone, and so Daniel and I were talking about things that we could talk about with you not here. But like,
I don't remember anything about
61 had to have been like. I don't either. I'm sure. I think I remember thinking, okay, Spat's not here, so we can talk about certain things, but I don't remember what those things were.
Yeah, it's like the one difficulty of like the way I can't like skim through these episodes live or anything because I don't have a way to like listen to them without getting them into the audio feed.
That's why clicking the transcripts is funny. I might do that for laying Spat to rest just to see what it is.
Yeah, it's probably I'll just leave it in C tier and then we'll continue, I guess, for right now. Anime Leaks Are Everywhere, episode 61.
I feel like
it's probably a very general episode.
I feel like this had just because the timing. I feel like this had to have been a mid episode.
It was like the tail end of the bulk recording. Like we'd have been cooked for sure. I feel like we've talked about that in the episode. How like we literally don't have anything to talk about because we had to bulk record.
Yeah, I kind of remember this part, but like it was a weird area.
Probably a C tier episode.
Bro, what the fuck? I'm going through this. The laying Spat to rest transcript is so bad. We're talking about what is it, Utawari Ramono or whatever, the false faces.
Mask.
Yeah, false mask, whatever. Talking about that at one point. Talking about Vinland Saga.
We were probably on massive copium for that. We're
We
just
were
gonna leave it in
definitely
C tier and move on with our lives.
It's probably very likely that both of those two episodes were worse than C tier because we just didn't have things to talk about.
I just
because at that point it was like we were recording our 4th episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I just find the thumbnail so I love that they're the exact same. Like literally, just
I do agree.
It's a funny bit at the end of the day, and it elevates them to C tier at least. Episode 62, the Anime Expo 2023 experience.
This one was probably pretty good.
This is probably like a B tier. Like I doubt we said anything profound enough.
Probably a B tier
To like put it.
I think what it probably is this is a B tier, and then the Mushoku episode. Well, it's not the Mushoku episode, but the next episode 63, where we talk about Mushoku season 2, was probably really good because we had so much stuff to talk about post Anime Expo.
Yeah, I feel like we had a generally good,
not related.
Yeah, generally good discussion on like just a lot of like production discussion. I feel like it's probably like reaches like B tier episode. Definitely not iconic enough for like an A tier or anything. But
I would agree.
The like early, I don't know what you would have fucking. I can't think of the term, but like the early access movies and stuff that you guys got to see.
Yeah,
and stuff.
AX
I can't think of the word. Whatever. Yeah.
AX episode premieres is what you're looking for.
Yeah, but like, probably. Yeah, sure.
AX episode was like fun, but it was also probably us being like, yeah, we got to hear this and this being announced, and we got to see the Bunny Girl movie months before all you fuckers will, and just kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay. So next up we have episode 64, the Jujutsu Kaisen Twitter drama is dumb.
Which drama is this?
So this is because I have Gojo on the thumbnail. I'm gonna assume this is the one where like, the scene wasn't adapted the exact same way as it was in the manga.
You're right. It had to have been. No, that makes total sense.
Yeah, 100% just us shitting on Twitter people, which we do a lot these days.
We do. This is now like a regular feature, but at this
we have an entire episode called "Anime Fans Are Stupid" later on, right here, with the RJ guest episode. Yeah,
I'm gonna say this one's probably C, just because I don't specifically remember.
Yeah, this is probably like a fine episode with like some fun rants, maybe, but I don't know.
I remember this next episode.
This next 65. Episode, unfortunately, this is an episode.
It had to have been bad.
This has to be F tier.
It definitely had to be bad because this was like we had a random conversation in the middle where it was like, "Do you think old people watch anime?" Stuff like that.
Yeah, this is definitely like an F tier episode, potentially an episode of all time.
The title is terrible, by the way. Just
dude, I literally that's no episode of all time. I gave up, dude. I actually literally did not know what to title the episode. It was such a sleeper. I did not know what to do.
Oh man.
We like looked at Japanese like age statistics, like yep, they're old.
Yeah, we did look at the age statistics. You're right.
That's wild.
It was definitely an episode of all time for sure. Wild thumbnail too.
Wild thumbnail. Episode 66, Gear 5.
Yeah, more anime Twitter drama.
More anime Twitter.
Probably
this
C tier.
Was talking about it definitely C tier. I remember this one better just because I'm a One Piece fan, but like this was also probably a hard topic to really talk about as well, because it was like I want to keep you as unspoiled as I can, and this one wasn't anything you could really avoid, but it's still like I couldn't talk in detail about any of the stuff either. Yeah. So I'm sure it was kind of like a bit of a muted conversation.
Yeah, probably. Now the next episode
67.
This is the start of the greatest arc in Gochuucast history.
This is the start of. Do you think this is the start of the Ayumu conversation?
I don't know. So the title is Love Life Makes
feel like
No
we
Sense.
I don't credit it.
It's probably close, if not the beginning. I'd have to listen to it.
I mean, this is definitely the start of you watching Love Live, right? This is right when you finished the OG.
I don't remember,
or at least finish season 1 of OG.
I can check. So this was uploaded August 19th. Let me go check when I finished Love Live initially. Because
either way, I think just it being I think it just being probably like the first substantial conversation you've had about Love Lives on the podcast is probably a safe thing to say.
Yeah, so Love Live School Auto Project, I finished this in 2021. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right at all. When did I finish season 2? That might be more akin to.
That might be more accurate.
That was August of 2022. When did I watch the? Did I watch the movie here then? Maybe.
There was like a year before this.
Yeah, this is when I watched the movie.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is basically when you were like kind of not coming back to it, but
there was like no. I mean, coming back to it's probably the right word. There was a year gap between me watching season 2 and me watching the movie. This was like the rejuvenation of the Love Live arc.
Yeah, probably the first major conversation. I mean,
it's difficult to say. I don't know if I can say anything specific about it. Yeah,
but it's probably iconic.
B tier.
I would say
for like iconic.
I like B tier.
Okay. Next up, anime blog.
Another blog episode.
This one was like kind of cool, but at the exact same time, it was probably
cool. I feel like we ran out of like.
We
definitely ran out
straws for sure. This is probably like maybe a C at best, maybe D.
C.
I think this is also in an era, and you can kind of see in our times that we got really like particular about wanting to hit like that hour plus mark on everything.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be fair, at this point, like we almost always hit that hour plus. But
we
that definitely was a time.
The only time we haven't was episode 2. And the closest we've come since then was, I think we were like at an hour 55 seconds on losing to an anime level cold. I think we literally in that episode, like, let's just make it to an hour.
I forgot about that. I forgot. I was so dead. Yeah. Oh, man.
We'll get to that eventually, but...
we will get to that.
But yeah. Anime blog one was probably either C or a D. It's tough to...
I feel like this might have been the one where we kind of did it and felt like, okay, it's not that we've exhausted blog content, but it was definitely not as fun as like some of the other ones I remember.
Yeah, I'll probably put it at D tier. I feel like that's fair. Next up, episode 69. Nice.
Iconic episode. It was hilarious. Mars and I just were terrors to society throughout this episode, I'm pretty sure.
I literally don't remember anything about this episode. Like, I actually completely zoned out.
I remember having so much fun with this episode, and it was like to me the right amount of uncomfortable.
I'll give you A tier. I'm not going any higher than that.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I think the fact that we got a serviceable episode about fucking hentai is hilarious, given how little we, as a collective 3, have really consumed.
This is past my my degen era, so I feel a little bit uncomfortable talking about this episode now. But I mean, it was fine for its time, I guess. I don't know.
It's definitely.
I think you're probably like down for this episode until it happened, and then you're like, "Ooh, this is a lot."
Exactly.
And I did.
As I get further away from my degen era, it became more weird.
Yeah. I had like the opposite issue where it was like going into the episode, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be kind of awkward," and then probably because it was Mars, I was like, "Oh yeah." Also, I like how you don't even mention that Mars in this episode.
Oh yeah, true.
in the title, he gets no feature.
I didn't put feature in. I'll fix that.
No.
No, you know I can't. You know what? No, it's because it's just called nice. You know, it's just a product of the title.
It's valid. It's just funny that there's no feature. It's probably because it's Mars, one of my best friends, that I just had fun doing this episode, even though it was like a sketchy topic. But I remember thinking this episode was super fun.
I kind of want to move to B now. I can't.
Why?
I feel like there's two people in here who do not think of this as like one of our greatest achievements.
That's fine. That's fine. You can move it to B.
I'm gonna put it. I can't put it on the same level as episode 1.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I don't feel like it reaches these heights. I'm willing to give. I'll compromise because I feel like there are two people who didn't care as much about episode 69 as the other two who are on that. Episode 70.
Mars and I had a blast.
One Piece live action wasn't
live action.
terrible.
This is another thing that probably had like good conversation, but just because
Like neither of us
neither
have
of you
seen
two
One
would have
Piece. It's
watched it,
probably
it
like a
probably
C
was
tier episode.
tough. Yeah.
I think I just remember watching like the first 2 episodes and I just didn't like it. So
Yeah, and we probably talked about that a little bit, but um
Yeah. So
so
episode
this is
71 was called "We Made a Slight Goof." There's a good chance I lost an what? What
did we
would have
lose
happened?
an episode here? What was our goof? Did we miss? No, we didn't miss a week, right?
Was this when just shit wouldn't upload or whatever, and like we had to? Was this?
Was this when we were late? No. What was this episode?
Can you check
What was our
what day
goof?
September
I'm
16th,
I'm
2023 was? No, that would have been a week later because the other one was September 9th. Oh, this was we were supposed to have
Saturday?
Atrix on that day, but we didn't communicate the time
Oh,
zone.
you're right. It was a
Since
reschedule.
yeah, we were gonna have a guest episode. We just completely fucked it up because we didn't communicate properly with Atrix.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Communicating with Atrix is hard.
It is, but that was like completely our fault. Like
I have
That's
the
my
times.
goat, though.
You gotta catch him when he's sober. I'm kidding.
this was probably like
What
a
did we even
C
talk
tier.
about
Like,
here?
I couldn't have
We
told you
we
what we
almost
talked about.
certainly, yeah, we almost certainly just grasped for anything to talk about because we were not prepared to
Yeah, we'll put it in we'll put it in the D tier.
be
It's like
doing a
it's our
regular
own fault.
episode.
All right, but next up, there's got to be an
Okay,
S tier,
this is
right?
S.
Yeah,
This is
is
S.
easily this
easy
episode
S.
was so fucking funny, dude. I love this one
This
so
episode.
much.
Listen, in our theoretical Mount Rushmore of episodes, this is another contender.
I still cannot get over Atrix saying like never watched Naruto.
Just
but
saying his favorite anime is
I
Naruto.
still think about that. I still think about that.
It's definitely like the most Atrix thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, there's absolutely no. That was an episode, man.
And we knew this was going to be a banger from the second he joined the call before the episode 2. That was just like,
yeah, no, easily. Like, this was like it was like a determined banger. Like we knew it would be a good one before just knowing who he is and the way he is. There was no chances one was
The
gonna
way
be.
he
there was
is.
no universe this wasn't a fire episode.
Yeah. Okay.
He
So
still has not brought us on to Route 1.
that's so true. This fucking guy. He we bring
Just
him
like
on.
to note that 7 months later, he still not a peep.
Do they
But
still? Does Route 1
I
still
did hang out with
exist?
him in Chicago. I have no idea, honestly.
Route 1
I haven't
podcast.
heard him talk about it lately.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen like literally anything about Route 1 lately. But not that I like pay attention to Route 1, but they posted an episode 4 weeks ago.
That's fair.
Let's go.
So
I mean, they're not like a weekly thing like us.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know exactly how they do it.
Well, Atrix also like he's been busy. With
I think it's just
events
when
and
they
stuff,
can get
so-
podcasts out. I don't think they
Yeah.
have like a set schedule, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think they started before us, didn't they? And now
Yeah.
we've like surpassed them in episodes now. Shout out to us. We're the
Shout out
goats.
to us. Consistency has been the name of the game for us.
Yes. At what
That's-
cost? The episodes down here.
Some of
But-
these episodes near the bottom were a couple of these C's that we've forgotten potentially,
Yeah,
but
you don't get Japanese people are old as an episode.
79. Anyway.
Anyways, episode 73. This is another seasonal transition one. It's probably like thrown in
this
C
one's
tier.
probably around the
E or
middle.
something. Yeah, I don't know.
Just to see. Next, this is an interesting one.
74.
Daniel's new manga awakening. This was
This was when the Deaf Girls came.
it's definitely one of my arcs of all time.
This is one of those episodes
It's
that I
not
feel
one of
like
the episodes of all time.
it might be one of those episodes where it's just like the lore.
the lore.
This is not as crazy of a character arc as some of the arcs we've had in Gochuucast history, but this was an important episode in time.
I'm willing to put B just for like the sheer goofy, like just looking at the title and the thumbnail, like make me
knowing what
feel
we're
like this
talking about.
episode was probably better than it was.
I would agree. I feel like this is probably a B episode that like we just don't have many memories of because it was just like a fun conversation of like, what's your new thing you're into?
Yeah, okay. Episode 75. I remember starting this with an all-time rant, but I don't remember the rest of the
Yes.
episode.
This was probably. I feel like it kind of just started with the all-time rant, and that was. Oh God, I just looked ahead at some of the other thumbnails. Anyway, you know exactly which one I'm looking at. Anyway, so I feel like this is probably a C episode. You started with an all-time rant because this is when you were like super coping over your free run video.
Yeah, where it took like a fucking 70 whatever fucking attempts to get it up, and I just gave up.
Basically, I had to ruin the video just to like get it out there.
Just to get it out.
As,
I was so
progress.
fucking done with that shit, dude. Like, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this episode was worse than a C, but
I don't know about that.
I don't remember it.
Like, none of these are gonna have like any iconic moments. At the very least, like I can remember that I had a rant at the start of this episode.
Yeah. It had something, I guess.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Okay. So next one was the ranking anime blind.
Thumbnail is insane. This thumbnail is insane. I love it. The Patrick.
This was such a like a trend grab idea. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it. I don't know that it was that great of a podcast, but like we had fun.
I'm willing to put a B tier for concept.
I would agree. Now I think this is one of those podcast episodes where it's like if we actually utilize the clips channel, could maybe be funny.
Yeah,
because I got them from YouTube Shorts. I got that idea.
Yeah, this trend is a clips trend.
Yeah, 100%. If I did like a clips thing, it would definitely be more worthwhile in some technical sense. Now this next one, I remember where the thumbnail came from, but I don't remember the rest of the episode.
Weren't we just talking about like anime in other countries?
I think we like found like Russia's most popular anime list or some shit, and so I just put like I don't know. I put Putin.
I'm pretty sure this is like. I'm pretty sure this is one of the zaniest episodes we've had in terms of like what the fuck were we talking about?
I just like looking at wide Putin with the fucking anime blush and cat ears, this is probably a C tier episode, like at heart.
This is probably a C episode that is like an A in our hearts.
It was definitely alright. So next up we have One Piece for white women. Which
what are we talking about?
That was like Grey's Anatomy or something?
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy.
It is Grey's Anatomy.
I don't remember what brought up like the length of like Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, it had to be something with the length. Yeah.
Were you looking at like episode lengths potentially?
Grey's Anatomy is
really long.
20 seasons or some shit.
Yeah. I don't remember what we talked. This is like S-tier thumbnail. I don't remember what the fuck we talked about other than that.
The thumbnail was hilarious. the hat, bro, it was crazy.
The thumbnail is really good. I love this one. My gut says this is probably like a B conversation.
Yeah, we'll
put
it at a B.
I don't like super remember it. It's just kind of. This is one of those thumbnails you look at and you're like, oh, we had to have gotten somewhere funny at one point.
Yeah, just the. Such an interesting. What's it? Anyway, episode 79. Anime merch kind of sucks mostly. This is probably.
Rant about
I just see Kirby looking at a fucking sandwich. This is a D tier episode for sure.
This has to be D tier.
That's our guy shield code.
I remember I tried to get like the Kirby like sandwich wrapper things or whatever that Spat had talked about, but like none of them like fit in a thumbnail, and so I'm like, fuck it, dude. Kirby with a sandwich.
I like this. It's cute. It's a cute thumbnail though. It's Kirby. It can't not be cute, right? But yeah, it's D.
It was like D tier. All right, so this is now. Here's what we're doing. This is the first. 80. This is the lost episode.
Rip in peace.
Rest in peace.
Oh my god.
Mappa versus Animators was the
This was an S episode, and no one will know.
I don't know about an S. I feel like it's like an A tier episode.
This is probably an A tier episode. This was such a good. I think because it's lost, it's probably a little overhyped to us now. But this felt like such a good episode when we recorded it.
Yeah, for sure. Like. Definitely one. I feel it's probably one of our stronger conversations. Just gone. It's just lost. There's no getting it back.
Lost to time.
It was like a strong, well balanced conversation, and then we did 80.1, and it was like, well, we can't just run it back.
Yeah. 80.1 was an interesting. So this was anime fans versus K-pop fans.
This is the Twitter thing, right?
Oh, I remember this.
And we had ironically the guy who I don't know what started it, but he like definitely fanned some
He
flames.
incited it. He instigated it.
He
I
fanned
think
some
this was still a
flames.
fun episode. It was just like
Yeah, it's probably like
not the same.
a B tier maybe.
B tier at best.
B tier best,
Maybe a
like C.
C.
You know, I'm willing to put it in C.
I think C is probably valid.
Yeah, alright. So next up we have Media Literacy is Dead with Brandon here.
Dude, I see
episode
Brandon
was
on my
great.
Twitter all the time now. That guy,
Oh, he's popping
blowing
now.
up.
Yeah.
He's blowing up.
He was like doing it naturally, and he's like, "Fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna like Twitter Blue and like actually like get something
He's
out
always
of
got these
this."
like
And just get, yeah.
anything about anime. It's nice. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Brandon episode was probably an S. Maybe an A.
I'll probably give it.
I
I don't know
enjoyed
if I
talking to
remember.
Brandon, but I don't think we had any like
I
noteworthy
don't know if we had any
things
like
happen. I
iconic
think it was
like.
just
I'd probably put it
yeah.
below these other guest episodes, but definitely like one of our better ones. Like
I like his accent. That
I
was
think
highlighted.
the vibes were immaculate.
definitely good
I
vibes.
don't I just don't remember like Ed, I remember really crazy conversations. Atrix, I remember really wacky conversations.
Yeah, Ed and Atrix are like both extraordinary people on like opposite ends of the scale.
Honestly, when I look
Opposite
at it,
ends. You
I'm
call
like,
Matrix dumb?
when I look at it now, I'm like, should Joey be at S? Probably not. But also, our connection to Joey is so much different
I feel
that it's
like
like
just what that episode was for our podcast at the time. I feel like it stays S.
exactly like to us, that's a big episode,
Yeah. I mean,
and
it
it
is
was
our
still
biggest.
good
It is our
content.
most viewed episode.
Yeah,
You know, unsurprisingly,
that is true.
the guy who had like 300,000 subscribers at the time. Who know who'd have guessed got our biggest episode?
Shocker.
Yeah, big shocker. Next up, we have the best male characters in anime. This was going through our personal favorites. This is probably like a C tier.
This is probably a C.
Yeah. It seemed remarkable.
So we got anime voice acting is hard work. This is definitely probably also a C
Is
tier.
this related to something, or is this?
I
mean, it's probably also a C.
I don't remember what it's. I think it's our lowest viewed episode. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't remember like what we.
Oh, it is. It is our lowest viewed.
Oh, it's tied.
I didn't
It's
even
tied
notice
for
that
our
one
lowest
when I was
viewed.
going through. Yeah.
Relative to time, it's our lowest viewed. Yeah, I just don't remember what we talked about at all.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's probably one of just a
like it's an hour 42. Like we probably. This is like a hidden banger that I
we
just
had to
don't
have had
remember.
something.
We couldn't have gotten to an hour 42 off Cope alone.
There definitely was a good conversation in there. I feel like there probably was some thing that we were talking about, like at the same level of like
remember.
the animators Mappa thing, but I don't remember if there was a voice actors like event type of like conversation at one point. My gut just says this probably came up through some event.
I just don't remember. Like, it's insane because this is like during a period of time where we were like getting out some like we had like basically 4 2-hour episodes in a row almost. Like, I can't imagine we didn't talk about anything, but I can't remember enough to like give it the like the benefit of the doubt that we had like a good conversation. We this is tough. Bring out the transcript. We have to know what we talked about.
This is really tough.
Let's go.
I couldn't tell you. The transcript might be our only hope because I just don't remember this episode at all. And yet it's an hour 42, and so like it had to have some level of like substance to get to that point because we don't
usually if we have nothing around 120, we'll just like
yeah, like
ready.
I think most of our episodes end between like an hour 5, hour 10, like if we just are on a cope day. But like just an hour 42, there's something in there.
We started with talking about Madoka.
I see.
We clearly didn't immediately talk about voice acting.
But we didn't talk much about like we have an episode. We are Magical Girl experts later on that has the Madoka stuff. So we couldn't talk about Madoka for long or Madoka.
I remember that was.
I have to keep up my gaslighting.
Talked about some seasonal stuff we've watched. Esports anime.
Fucking esports anime, dude. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Talking about One Piece Day at the LA Rams game. Iconic.
Is this just an episode where we just had a lot to talk about and it just so happened to get to an hour 42? Like, I can't imagine, like, we probably just expended a lot. I just don't remember.
I think at one point we realized that it looks like we realized that the next week was going to be
The Crunchyroll stuff, and so we
the
just like
Crunchyroll Awards.
got all of our feelings out about current stuff, like, or did we
Yeah,
just start like pre-rolling it?
I think
or
we
whatever?
started kind of like talking about Crunchyroll by the looks of it.
Okay, this is probably C tier then. That's like got patted on.
As I go through the transcript, I'm just not seeing anything that crazy. And we probably, because of the pre-conversation, we probably ended by talking about voice acting because there's so many voice acting like nominations and everything on there.
Yeah, yeah, I don't remember, but we'll put it in C tier and move on because there's no remembering what happened in that time, and the YouTube transcript is definitely not going to help entirely. So the next thing was our personal like award nominations or whatever, the best of anime in 2023. I think this is probably like a solid episode. I mean, it was fucking 2 hours long. I would hope it's a solid episode, but
I think this is probably a solid episode. I feel like
I agree.
of like the award / Crunchyroll
yeah,
episodes.
it was like the polished
is
version
the
of this,
one,
like we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the one I would imagine being
this is probably like an A
like
tier
the
episode.
either the
Yeah.
A below the other two or like B somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. All right, episode 85 was how not to get axed by Shonen Jump.
This is when we looked at the little fucking
The rankings,
yeah,
scaling
like the
things,
ranking
right?
charts
The
and
ranking,
stuff like that.
because
Yeah.
we were talking about Kagurabachi and all of that. Because it's a little bit after Kagurabachi, it kind of started to not die down. It's actually doing really well still.
Yeah.
It's just not like the fucking cult meme that it was
I mean,
for a
the height.
while.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that started as like a fucking super meme, and then people read it and were like, "Wait, what? It's like not
Like it's actually
that
not
bad."
that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now it's just like a general thing that is like pretty popular, like in the grant, like at least on social media.
I feel like this episode was probably a C, but if I'm looking at all the C's, this one feels more
It's probably like a
rememberable.
higher C, but I don't think I could like put it into a B.
I would agree. The fact that we had those rankings and everything felt really fun
Yeah.
when we were doing it.
All right, next up, just another. This is Hello Anime 2024. Just looking forward to.
I think
Looking forward
probably.
to the year.
It's probably
It's
Yeah.
C tier, yeah. So 80. So this is Madoka
This is
discussion.
Madoka
We are
episode.
magical girl anime experts. Experts in quotations, because it's the only one.
This is
Wait, didn't we
probably
have a guest? Am I like?
No. Future
Okay,
episode.
I'm
we have
trolling.
a
I'm
guest.
trolling. My
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
I'm very.
you're thinking about when we got an actual magical girl expert.
Yeah. You.
Wait, I just realized. So 84 was the one. Right. So 84 was our personal nomination.
Yeah,
so it was
and then
not
this is like actual voting.
Yeah,
but this is
I
a lost
understand.
episode right here.
That is a lost episode. Okay. 84 is a fun one because that was the one where I said Majiromo was anime of the year. And
Certainly
I
a
stand
choice.
behind that.
Anyway,
Certainly a choice. I'm not saying it was a good choice, but I'll stand behind it. Anyway, this Madoka conversation was probably like a B.
yeah, I feel
we were
like
probably
this
able
is
to
a
have
solid
some.
episode. Like I just don't.
We were probably able to have some good conversation because at that point I had watched the whole show. You'd
I'd
watched the show and the movie. Spat had watched the whole show. Like this was one that we kind of built to and probably had some good conversation, but
yeah, it's probably like a B tier. Like probably one of our better discussions. Nothing like stand out too much, but
okay.
yeah,
Episode 88.
Losing to an anime
I
level goal.
don't remember this episode at all, like physically. Like I was dead for this episode. I remember showing
that you were.
I remember
dead.
clocking in. Basically, like I was here, but I was not here. So my gut says there's no way.
This is probably an F tier.
This episode was very good.
We literally limped to an hour just to have an hour. It's like
I think the world where this episode was good was the one where I just said I'm too sick to come in, and it was laying PK to rest 2. But instead we recorded it, and me being there probably made it worse because it was just like a reminder of like, oh yeah, one of the hosts literally dying on recording.
Yeah, one we had Lane Daniel to rest one day. What's gonna happen when that happens? Like, what is the end goal?
I
We'll
mean,
figure it out.
I have recording software, so it's like we can technically do it. I just barely ever use all of my stuff. So
I just have to like leave like a guide, like a Daniel how-to guide on how to record a Gochuucast episode.
Step by step, please.
Step-by-step guide on how to record a
Yes.
Gochuucast episode, just in case I like just actually cannot do one.
Please leave us a dummy guide just in case.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, this was
the Hayden episode.
No, I ever.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
our
right.
Lost episode.
I was not looking at the
Yeah,
screen. I was
you were
looking
on
at
the
the
YouTube
YouTube
channel. Yeah. So we had the Lost episode at the time until the Hayden episode. This was our longest ever episode. Lost, Lost to the Abyss.
Lost to the Abyss.
This was a good episode. Like this, like we had some really strong discussions about, like the categories and such. It was a I mean, I'm gonna put it A. I don't think we can put
It was A.
We can't put S tier for an episode that doesn't exist. But
I would agree. I think it's A. I think it's hilarious that you just reused
oh yeah,
the thumbnail here again. This is a phone in. I mean, not that it mattered. This thumbnail never was actually reused.
Yeah,
but
it's actually it technically doesn't exist. So
True is lost in.
It's only
lost
a little. It's only a little bit of a phone.
I remember feeling less bad about losing the content of this episode than the animators one, but more bad because it was like our second lost episode in
a week,
like a
almost
couple.
Not
it
a
was
week.
like
Not a
months.
week. I'm stupid as fuck. Yeah, I'm like thinking about like the numbers going up, and I'm like, yes, a week. Yeah, we post daily. Daily Gochuucast. Yeah. It was definitely a great episode, dude. Hayden episode. Now
Hayden episode was good.
This is no longer our longest episode of all time. Shout out episode 200.
It is no longer.
But
200.
Not 200. Fuck 100. God, I'm on one today. Holy shit!
Like when you said the 300 episode special or something like that last time. I forget.
Yeah, pretty much.
This was a good episode. I mean,
it was long as shit.
Hayden,
like, it couldn't have been a bad episode.
Yeah. Hayden was a great guest, right?
Yeah.
All the guest episodes are bangers.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a solid A tier guest episode.
This is probably another solid A tier.
There's also like we got to
aesthetic thumbnails.
Learn about like a lot of old anime too, like really.
Yeah,
really
like this is like definitely one of the more diverse episodes we've had in terms of like talking about.
This might be the episode where I've learned the most. That is either this one or the Ed episode.
Yeah, definitely like a very educational episode for sure.
Nerd.
Yeah, Nerd episode, yeah, where we talk about things that probably most people haven't heard of, I guess. Just like there are a lot of like magical girl stuff. I mean, we're not like only like limited to magical girl, but
it was like anime lost to time because they didn't have like the hardware, I guess, that like in the internet.
Yeah, there's just like a considerable amount of things that we talked about in that episode, like the Nana manga. I think we talked about like its hiatus and stuff like that. It's a long ass episode. We talked about a shit ton. Definitely one of our better episodes. Definitely one of the better guest episodes. Episode 90, Confessing a Sin. This is when I downloaded Blue Archive and got chastised.
This is when you downloaded Blue Archive.
I
mean,
C tier
episode. It was probably funny, but C tier.
Yeah, like that one funny moment, and the rest of the episode probably was like fine at best. Next up, we have. Anime fans are stupid with RJ, or On the Rise AV is what his featuring was, but RJ.
Oh, I remember this one. Yeah. This one was cool. I like this one. I don't know. This is I mean, it's a guest episode.
This is a guest episode.
Yeah, guest episode.
It was pretty good. It's for me maybe not as memorable as a lot of the other guest episodes, but
I think I just remember
still like.
Yeah, probably put on the same tiers like some of the ones in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've not had a bad guest episode.
Yeah,
I remember because he had like one of his videos on his channel was just like I don't know. It was something about like anime fans and stuff. It was cool.
I vibed. I remembering more and more as we talk about. I vibed with him so much.
Did you add him on some
y'all
like
were
gacha
like,
game or something? I don't remember.
yeah, y'all were like comrades, like fate comrades. That's what it was.
We were
You
fake
fucking added
comrades,
him
all
on
this
Yeah,
stuff.
fate,
yeah.
I think.
I did add him on Fate. So I remember that part of it. Now that I'm memory jogging, it was definitely a
It
good
was a
episode.
good. Yeah, haven't had a bad guest episode yet. I hope we never have a bad guest episode, but it'd be really
It's hard because
awkward.
I think we pick up good guests, which is like most of the battle, honestly. If you get a good guest, there's just new dynamics.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna like purposely
almost
break on
hard.
someone that I fucking hate, and so it's like,
Yeah, it's almost hard to have a bad guest episode unless you're just like taking whoever wants to show up.
yeah, if we were just like an open door, then yeah, I'm sure we'd have some like sleeper guest episodes, but especially like if you have someone on for like the first time, it's definitely more difficult because like you'll have a fresh conversation there at the ready, and they'll bring a different dynamic than we would with just the three of us. But yeah, episode 92 was
This
starting
is the
good
Shangri-La.
anime. Yeah, this is where I convinced you to start Shangri-La Frontier.
What a good anime.
I think this might be like the first time like any of us have ever talked about something and then convinced the other to actually start watching it.
Like the first time that it immediately worked for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like this is 100% the first time one of us has given the other an anime recommendation, and by the next episode, that person was like, "Yeah, I watched." I was like, "I watched a lot, watched all of it." It fucking. I think I was also sick that week, like a month later, but it wasn't as bad as like the episode 88 cold. But I think I was not feeling particularly well.
Yeah.
Sometime between 92 and 93, and so I just ended up watching all of Shangri-La Frontier just out of like I have nothing to do.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably like just the fact that it worked like that, maybe a B tier. It had to have been at least a somewhat good conversation.
It had to have been a good conversation because it was enough to make me go from like, oh, silly Birdman anime to like, yeah, I want to watch it.
All right. 93 mixed anime opinions.
I do not remember.
I just remember talking about like Sengoku Yoko. I'm like, I'm gonna need 37. I'm gonna need all 37 episodes.
You're gonna need all. There's probably a couple weeks into the season.
I think it might have been because I talked about it before. It might have been like halfway through the season or some shit. Yeah, it would have been like halfway because we talked about Shangri-La Frontier. It would have been because you started it like right as the big boss battle ended, which is like near the
about halfway, yeah.
Like the later middle of season 2. Or not season 2, core 2. We are getting to season 2 though, which is fire.
We are getting to season 2.
Yep. This is probably like C tier.
This is probably a C episode. This is probably one where we had like general conversations about stuff.
Yeah. Episode 94.
Anime Dark Souls.
Yeah, anime Dark Souls will go
We
harder.
definitely did not talk about anime this episode.
I feel like I remember
this devolving into like anything but anime for 30, 40
I vaguely
minutes.
remember it now, yeah.
I think it was like at the time I probably like finished Dark Souls 3, which was like the last Dark Souls I needed to do.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly why I brought it up. Like I think we might have been talking about games and I'm like, yeah, Dark Souls, dude, I finished that. And then like we started talking about like Dark Souls as an anime concept. It's probably like a fine episode. There's nothing about it that like stands out. Probably just another C tier.
I would agree. I think it was one of those episodes where we got off topic, which is a fun thing, but also the topic was probably just like Dark Souls and talk about that type stuff, and then maybe like, oh, Dark Souls anime be fun.
Yep. Alright, so next episode was reacting to the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, and I have aptly thumbnailed it here.
This was based. We had the little like who predicted everything right, and
we did have the
about Demon Slayer.
I'm surprised that this is as short as it is, but I guess we did kind of like go through it pretty quickly, and like there wasn't a lot of surprises. with
it was
it
just
for us to
literally
talk to
so
about.
fucking. It was the JJK awards. Like it was
I think
such a mid
we had
award
just talked
ceremony. Yeah.
so much in the past about the Crunchyroll awards and the problems with them that like this one we got to, and it was kind of like, yep, that's what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
and it
This is
just ended up being like this is probably
of the Crunchyroll ones. This like could be like
content our
a B
worst Crunchyroll
tier.
maybe.
You know, like a B
Yeah,
tier Crunchyroll award episode. It's just because like there's like nothing to talk about. It's all JJK. You know, we've been down that road before, type of thing.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm willing to bet that that episode was decent, but not as good as the other Crunchyrolls.
yeah. Okay, so next up we have episode 96. Thank you, Akira Toriyama.
This one was sad.
This was a good episode,
I guess we
wasn't it?
reminisced.
It was an hour 46. I am
we
gonna assume
started
it was a
off
good episode.
we started off with the Akira Toriyama stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was only like a chunk of it. I feel like I
Yeah, it
remember
was like
us
a
having
chunk at the
some good
beginning.
conversation afterwards. I just don't remember.
Break out the transcript.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm already going to the transcript. I don't remember where we went after the Toriyama
I
conversation.
don't quite remember because obviously that was like the highlight of the start or whatever, but I just do not remember anything else after that.
How did I get here?
How did we get here?
When I said that, all I could think of was the ASDF movie Bear.
The Moon Bear, yeah.
Desmond the Moon Bear.
How did I get here? The end. Those are such banger videos, dude.
Those are so good. Okay, yeah. So here we're talking about Toriyama.
Yeah, because I mean, we definitely didn't talk about that for an hour 46. I just don't. I
No,
can't
we
think of
didn't.
like
I
where
know
it
we
would have
didn't.
gone.
I remember us having good conversations in this, though. Talking about the
It's probably
Cherry
a
Blossom
worst of.
Festival.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Transcripts might just be bad, which is valid.
I mean, yeah, I know they're 100% bad. It's YouTube fucking AI, like copium, reading our voices or whatever, but. Yeah, I mean, if you can't find anything, like, very obviously, like, probably correct, I mean, probably just put it into B and call it a day.
I think B's probably
Because I can't, like, think of anything
anyway.
else.
Yeah.
That,
I
like,
mean,
we talked about.
I kind of remember some of the discussions that we had and talking about like the legacy that he left behind. Probably something good.
Yeah, it's long enough, Can't be that bad.
We talked about some Love Live in here also.
I mean, yeah, this was like the lead up to episode 100. So this was like there's definitely like a tinge of Love Live in every single episode from until 100.
Tinge.
Yeah, the hype for the potential end of the podcast.
Yeah, wonder what happened to that. Definitely no episodes after 100 on this tier list. Next up is just another, throw that in C tier. Another seasonal recap type, look forward
seasonal
thing.
Recap.
Yeah. All right.
Good one. But I mean, we're still in this season too, so it's like.
Yeah, we are still
hard
in this
to
season.
Even. Hard to even really say much about this episode because it's like, oh, this is the current one, so we don't even know if some of these shows are bangers yet or not.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely like. At this point, I can tell which ones I like, which ones I'm like more iffy on, but.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Episode 98. Isekai reincarnates into the English dictionary.
This one was cope.
There's gotta be a D tier. There's gotta be a D tier.
Yeah, it has to be.
There's gotta be D tier for sure. Super cope.
We definitely did have a funny conversation about isekai being a word in the dictionary, but like
everything surrounding that was probably Jover.
I'm fairly certain we started the episode and in like the precast, Spat was like, I have one fun thing to talk about, and so we're hyped up, and so we started it and we're like, all right, the table's yours. And we started talking about isekai being in the dictionary.
Dude, okay, but that was kind of cool though. Low-key.
It was kind of cool. I'll give you that.
It's funny.
I don't know if that was the one fun thing. I think it was something else, but like, I don't know. It was I know it was one of the things
about like a multitude of things. Yeah. This is like the most like
we definitely talked
title,
about
thumbnail type thing I could do.
Yeah, probably.
Probably more Love Live in there. This is like
definitely more Love Live. We're getting getting to the nitty gritty of this. You probably finished Superstar by now, and it's like, oh, I've watched the first season of Nijigasaki. Wonder what happens.
Yeah. All right. Episode 99. Crunchyroll pulls a big oopsie. This is when they sent their stuff to Puerto Rico for a convention, and then it got leaked online. Probably like a C tier episode.
Probably another C.
Yeah, I can't think of like anything.
I like vaguely remember that episode happening, but yeah, I don't remember it being like peak content.
All right, episode 100. Got to be an S tier, right?
Episode 100. This is S tier.
This is the biggest build up our podcast have ever had.
This is the biggest build up. Everything built up to this. We had multiple things we did in it that were kind of fun. It was probably the episode we did the most prep work for since like the theme days.
I mean, easily, yeah. Like I had to watch an entire franchise to get to that point.
So it's
yeah. The thumbnail was very simple, very fun though.
It's also longest episode.
Yes.
Potentially not for long. I haven't really been tracking how long we've been recording.
We have about 5 minutes left until we have the longest episode.
Is it 5 minutes? Yeah. I was sitting here looking at the time. I was like, this call started about 2:19 ago.
Like shorter, but like I looked at the time and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I looked at the time and I was like, oh, I need to be up for work in 3.5 hours.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough day for us tomorrow, but you know what? It's worth it for the 2-year anniversary.
It's worth it.
This was our decision. Yeah, we have 3 left. I'm gonna be honest; these are probably all gonna be lower tiered episodes for sure.
I think we were like exhausted and trying to scrounge like topics.
Yeah, we were like
I've also been like
for sure.
The last, I don't know, a couple months I've just been like IRL busy with so much stuff.
Like
with your,
I'm starting to catch up with like some seasonals and stuff, but it's yeah, like, you know, I think by next week I definitely have some stuff to talk about because there are some things I've watched and finished recently that I can do. So we won't be as cope. But these episodes were definitely more on the cope side. Maybe less 101, but like 102 and 103.
That was 101 because
101 was probably good because I did watch a couple episode 1s of stuff.
Yeah, this is like the time we got to talk about seasonals for the first time, really.
So there were definitely things we talked about, you know, first couple episodes of Train, which I've only seen like 2 episodes now, but at the time there was only like 3 episodes out.
Yeah. Anyway, this is probably like a C tier episode, I would assume.
Yeah. And I have some stuff for the seasonals for next episode too, so it's good. Looking forward to that, I guess. So,
yeah. 102. Will AI translate manga?
This is like something I just saw, so it's D tier, I guess. I don't know. We didn't have that much to talk about, I don't think.
I feel like
the next 2 are just probably D tier.
Yeah.
And then
we're building up to this one, you know? When we do the next tier list of all the episodes, you know, this episode itself will be, you know, a high tier episode.
Yeah, well, year 4 tier list.
Year 4 is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, it's just another 52 episodes away or whatever. It's because like
exactly
the way like, no, because year 1 would have been from 0 to 1 to 52.
I mean, clearly. We're
entering
the 3rd anniversary.
Yeah, we're entering year 3 technically. Like it's a weird word in English moment, you know.
Clearly, if the transcript's correct, this is the 2nd time we've done this, and we did a similar but worse product in the 1-year anniversary.
The unpolished turd, bro. The unpolished turd.
Which is just kind of funny that looking at the transcript of that and being like, "Oh, we've done this."
Yeah. I'll have to like go back and like skim through some of these, like maybe C tier, just to see like did we get any like am I missing something?
I definitely think there are some of these that we are gonna look at, and if we actually listen to them, there would be movement for a couple of these C's and B's.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. This is the learning Japanese is hard. We phoned it in for that episode. I vaguely.
We definitely phoned it in.
I don't remember jack shit from that one, but.
And it was last week.
It was last week. I don't remember it. That says a lot.
It was last week, and I don't remember it. It was just, I don't know.
We were excited for this episode. That's all.
Well, we were also talking in that one about, like, I do remember the funny conversation where I was like, I feel like learning Japanese for me is like my last barrier of still being
Oh my god.
savable as a person.
What the fuck? Oh, okay. Yeah, like, I tried to scroll up with like my middle mouse wheel, but I actually moved it to the side and it started like going over. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, we're good. We're good. It confused me.
All right, and this is our tier
We
list.
did it. Let's
This is our
go.
tier list.
Every episode we've made, and 2 of them that we made and didn't.
I mean,
You
we
all
made
have never listened
yeah,
to.
we made them.
Yeah,
They're there.
I'm surprised we only had 4 episodes of all time, but I guess that kind of makes sense.
I mean, that's like bottom of the bottom. Like,
yeah.
we
I also feel like this is our own product. There's a little bit of us being generous.
yeah, there's
because
definitely
it's
some
like,
generosity here. Like, and it's also like these are obviously iconic for reasons. Like, at this point, these are like we just know in our heart these are dog shit. But like these are special,
I
you
think
know.
for us to be an episode of all time, it also has to be like we have to remember as being specifically bad content, and also it probably didn't do well. And like our metric for doing well isn't that crazy, right?
Yeah, like I don't know.
And
In the
some
middle, like
things can be good content and not do well. Like
yeah.
we have a couple of those.
But these we just know. Like I mean, this one dog shit.
These 4
We've known that
we
forever.
specifically remember being bad conversations.
This one we literally said we just don't know enough. Like we did this too early, and then definitely didn't have enough here. Whatever the fuck this one was, you know, it's just we definitely
The
phoned
old
it in.
people conversation was definitely like a phoned in and also just like weird side conversation that happened.
Goofy side
And it wasn't
conversation.
necessarily bad,
Yeah,
but
probably went on for longer than it needed to. Like, you know, just one of those conversations that happens. You're like, oh boy. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, and we added like I could have like removed like the fucking F tier, and we could have put those down there. Maybe like there's
we could
arguments
have.
for
I
that.
mean,
I
the
just feel like
difference
these are
between
noticeably worse than these ones.
yeah,
Probably
I feel like the F tier ones were like
we could arguably put like this one in fucking episode of all time. Like
I can't say anything about the sick one because
you
I
know,
didn't
we're gonna
exist.
move it down to episode of all time.
My gut reaction is probably having a corpse, and the podcast just trying his best did not help the product at all.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think it's definitely probably worthy of episode of all time. Just remembering like we're like we're just gonna sit here and like talk randomly for like
Just gonna
a
do
few
our
minutes just to
best
get to an
while
hour.
that guy is dying in the back.
Yeah, it was good going down memory lane though.
Yep. Yep. This is cool. There are a lot of
Fun.
episodes that I just had
I
fun with.
still think the concept. Obviously, we use the word remaster as a joke, but I do think the concept of seeing some of these older episodes we do it and being like, we could do that
Again, but
better now
Yeah,
is like fun. I don't know if we will do that for many, if any of them, but it
definitely
is
not many,
just.
but I think there are some that we could definitely like do again. Like it's been 2 years, you know, we could definitely try some of these again.
I think it'd be fun too because some of them, like I said, were good ideas that maybe just like we didn't know enough
we weren't
about at the
seasoned.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think thinking back,
I
I think
really
our
want later to go through episode 16, which is the new seasons, and just see if we got set a single show that got a new season.
yeah, I doubt we did. I doubt it at all.
I also doubt we did, but
I think our biggest missed opportunity, I don't remember which episode it is. One of these released on April Fools, and we didn't do the Western cartoon episode. And I think that's definitely the biggest L we've taken the entire existence of Gochuucast is forgetting about April Fools.
we 100% realized like the day we released the episode 2. I remember that. Which one is that? We can probably find that kind of easily, I bet. Is that 86 episode?
For what?
The one that was April Fool's. No,
No.
it was 3 weeks before, so it was episode 47.
So far, I don't know
Should
what the
have
fuck
been.
that was. Probably somewhere in C tier, I would assume. No, B tier.
Do you think it was a seasonal episode?
There we go.
And that's
Yeah,
also why we didn't do it.
That's probably It's right here. Episode 47 is a seasonal one. Yeah, we probably just weren't like. I don't think it was a conscious decision
We
not
probably
to do it.
didn't
We
think
just
about it.
didn't
We were
think
just like,
about
oh,
it.
it's seasonal time.
Yeah,
And
it's
then the
seasonal
episode
time,
came
yeah.
out and we were like, oh, it was April 1st. We could have done something fun.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
All right. Well, that's our.
Yeah, that is
2 years in review, or something like that.
It's crazy. It's felt so long and so short at the same time. I don't know how to explain
it.
It is always weird.
Time is a flat circle.
Well, it also feels weird to us because it's been every week consistently for that whole time too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, obviously there are exceptions there, and we have like weeks where we record ahead or like a lost episode or two here or there, but it's like it's moved so fast because it's just become our routine at this point.
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, I don't know, there's nothing else. Anything I could say here has probably been said in the last birthday episode. Just like the fact that we've been
Also,
doing
episode 100.
Yeah, yeah, probably. We've just been doing this for a long time. I mean, I've said my things at this point. Like, you know, these two co-hosts of mine every week humor me for an hour at least, and the fact that we've been doing it for 2 years is just insane. And you know what? Now that we finally hit 104 and can start bringing on some more guests, so we can alleviate some of the limpage that we've been doing, to just, you know, the two. I mean, this is like at 98, 102, 103 for like D tier. Like, that's insane. Like, we haven't had that many. That's like pretty 3 close episodes. While all these other ones were kind of
like
far.
A lot of stuff happening to talk about either, because we're in the middle of a season.
Yeah,
it's like the last couple seasons have all had drama come up with something, and I feel like this has been a pretty clean season so far. Because we had like
there is some drama,
obviously Mappa versus animators, right, and we had like the Zom 100 stuff happening.
Yeah, there's
I know there's a little bit happening this season, but
there's some interesting.
To me, it's like not the same scale, I guess.
Don Manchi drama that happened recently. We can maybe talk about that next week or some shit.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not hear about this, but yeah.
Just like, I guess the baseline for what the drama is. Not that I'm gonna go into it right now, and I haven't paid that much attention to it anyway. But like, so Hades 2 like is in early access right now, and I think that has like different gods and goddesses and stuff in it. And someone on Twitter was like, "Oh, look at this design for."
I think I've seen the tweet. I know the tweet you're talking about. I just didn't realize that like
it spurned like a huge discussion of like the design of Hestia and other gods and Hades versus what they are in like Don Machi or whatever. You know, obviously some people are gonna look at like Hestia from Don Machi and be like, oh my god, this is peak fiction. Other people are gonna be like, that's fucking disgusting. And then, you know, I look at him like, who the fuck cares? And that's kind of, you know, what it is right now. So that's the baseline, but we can talk about that more in depth at another time. I just need to like farm Twitter more for conversations is what I'm thinking here. Or just see enough stupid shit on there. No, but yeah, this is our tier list here. I'll probably like post this on Twitter tomorrow or some shit. Maybe some people will see it and be like, we should watch these S tier episodes. Right
maybe you should really check out the bangers.
The bangers, the classics. No, I feel like episode 100 doesn't work as well as like a solo banger. Like the build up, like if a weekly watcher would get so much more out of it than like someone who's like, let me just watch episode 100. There's not as much suspense if you don't give a fuck about the podcast. Like, imagine starting with episode 100. Like, the stakes are so are so low.
It'd be crazy
because you know there's more afterward.
Well, not only that, but it's like you don't have to build up to those stakes anyway. So it's just like, oh, why are they arguing about this random Love Live girl?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with those tiers came out. I'm definitely, God knows what happened in some of these. Should they be lower? Probably. But here we are.
Yeah, should they be lower? Should they be higher? There's a good chance that I'm sure some of these seasonal episodes that were just like, it was probably a C, had like banger conversations, and some we were just like shopping the whole time.
Yeah, I can imagine that we probably had, like, I mean, we put like the ones with like the Onimai in there because that's like, that is something we vividly
remember that. Yeah,
it's like, it was like a character arc basically. But the other ones are like, who knows what the fuck happened in there. You know, Gochuucast's birthday probably should be as high, but you know, that would be sometimes. Yeah.
it's iconic, bro.
It is iconic. It is iconic, and I love the thumbnail. I could use this thumbnail and just like switch the original on the year one, just so I can use it for year two, just for the better episode. But no, I'll come up with something new probably. I don't know what that'll be. That'll be for me after work to figure out tomorrow before it uploads. But
we're gonna be tired.
Yep, this is also now we're very much so the officially the longest episode of the Gochuucast.
Should be by a decent margin, right?
Oh yeah, we're like 10 minutes.
Couple minutes, yeah.
Yeah, 10 anyway. This one's probably not being beaten anytime soon, I would assume.
Unless we have like we might have a banger guest episode, but that's like the only thing that I could see passing for
I
a
think
while.
The only
banger guest.
I feel like an Ed part 2 maybe, but that's like, you know, that would have to be like a consent thing. Like, hey, if this runs for like 10 billion hours, are you okay with that? Like,
I think the problem is at this point we're reaching times that are like interfering with schedules.
Yeah, right? I think the only way this time gets beaten is if we do another tier list next year.
Exactly.
We have to like add on, like an add-on. Well, probably not, because like this is like the main bulk of it. Like if we just added on to this, right, then it would be like not as long. The only way to like break, actually, you know, this might just be an unbreakable record. Honestly, like it would take a guest episode probably to beat this at this point. Unless we waited another 2 years for.
I think it would have to be a guest episode that got out of control.
Yeah, or like the conversations were just too good to stop. Which kind of was like the first Ed episode, honestly.
That was the first episode for sure. I ended up having to leave.
Yeah, you had to leave,
and I was
still
like,
got
to that's sad.
I remember that.
Yeah, we still got to 2
leaving
hours.
And being like, that's sad because I feel like it's not going to be as long now, and you guys still popped off.
Yeah, we only stopped it because I'm like, man, we're at like 2 hours, you know, we can stop it here. Like, we could have gone further. We just didn't. Like, just because.
Well, that's why in Ed Part 2 I could see, because it would depend on how schedules are, obviously, because once you pass that 2 hour mark, it's like,
yeah,
at that point, it's more than what you usually would set aside for something like a podcast.
Yeah, like Trash Taste episodes don't even go on for this fucking long. Like, they've been cut off like 30 minutes. I know, granted, the way they produce is a lot different than ours, but, you know, like we don't have like 4K cameras that produce like hundreds of fucking
studio or anything.
Yeah, we don't have like fucking hundreds of gigabytes of like, you know, per episode. You know, we have. I mean, yeah, this is an audio only thing, so it's not, you know, definitely not the same production. Much different time, like allowing for time. Anyway, but yeah, we should probably end the episode here. 2 hours 30 minutes. This one's not being beaten anytime soon, probably. I've said that like multiple times now, but like we've beaten it a few times in like the past like 20 episodes, which is insane. But yeah, it's probably bedtime. And so, thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for watching the Gochuucast for 2 years, maybe. Unless this is like your first episode, in which case, what the fuck are you doing?
In which case, you got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, time for you to go.
And now you know which episodes.
Yeah, now you know which episodes to avoid. Watch all of them anyway, actually. But, yeah, 2 years.
I'm sure some of these D episodes have like callbacks that we're just forgetting. I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 of these had something.
I'm sure every episode, besides like the F tier ones and below, like probably have their moments, but like, you know, there's just nothing obvious that stands out.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the end of the episode. If you enjoyed, click like, you know, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, whatever the fuck platform you're on. If you're on the audio only side of things and you'd like to go to the YouTube, Is the Order an Anime Podcast? We are the only one. If you are on the YouTube side of things and you'd like to go to the audio side, Is the Order an Anime Podcast? Once again, on all relevant podcasting platforms, where you cannot miss us. No one else has this name. No one else has this logo. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, without fail, except for when we do, there will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. Not 2 hours and 30 minutes of episode, but new episode regardless. So yeah, once again, thank you, and we hope to see you in another episode. And here is to year 3. Goodbye.